Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special weekend edition of WrestleCast.
Friday night
I'm your host.
WrestleCast.
There you
But
go.
we went back in
Friday.
time. Yeah.
Friday night WrestleCast. Except for today, we're doing it on a Saturday.
That is
Yes.
true.
So I'm your host, Rich Bailey Jr., and today I'm joined by Mr. Adam Vale. How's it going, Adam?
It's going, man. Let's get hyped. This is Fastlane. This is not just a regular pay-per-view. This is a go home to WrestleMania. This sets everything up. Everything gets set up from this. Good, bad, cheesy, whatever. Shit has to go down soon. Tomorrow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dana.
Well, Dana, I hear all this.
Yeah, sorry. Sound travels. I'm up high. Yeah, I'm happy to be here and talk about the unnecessary pay-per-view because we only want to care about WrestleMania.
Yeah, man. I always found it funny with Fastlane because it's a pay-per-view right before the main pay-per-view, and all the storylines that you're advertising are hyped for the main pay-per-view, you know? So it's like, what is this? This is like a filler. Why can't you just have a large buildup? Skip the pay-per-view this month and just have a large buildup, because that's what you need when you're going to put together what they're talking about, 15, 16 matches. For Mania, it's going to be 15 hours long or some shit. It's crazy. So we need a large buildup, but nope, we got Fastlane.
Money,
of course, of course, money.
That definitely is a factor. But what I will say is the irony of us recording this show at this particular time today, because in about 24 hours from now, I'm pretty sure there will be a Fastlane pre-show that will be starting, and we'll end up having about 7 or 8 hours of content between the pre-show and the actual show. So, yes, this will be interesting.
Remember, wrestlers are just now finding out that they have matches. So
shit, man. Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. I mean, we all, we listen to Dirt Sheet. We know Dave Meltzer and all the stuff that he spills out, and he has his sources. And most of the time, he's right. I mean, think about it. There's just a lot of people behind the scenes. That goes for any company. So when people are like, we don't know that for a fact. I mean, people talk. Yes, there's a small group of people that are writing this out, but then they still have to tell other people, hey, this is what you're having tonight. This is what you're having. Then those people tell their people, and then they tell their family members, and they tell their friends, and the cleaning crew, and the makeup guy, and all that. You know what I mean? It just goes down the line. So when we start hearing this, and a lot of it sounds so crazy, it's like, well, I guess this is happening. And the craziest is hearing that they're not prepared for WrestleMania yet. Usually everything is already laid out. And right now, like you said, wrestlers are just finding out what they're doing on this show and for that show. Kind of sad.
Well, I will just say this. There's a lot of stuff that should already be planned out. I can understand in the case of Roman Reigns. I totally understand them not really knowing anything about that yet because he just came back. But for the other storylines, a lot of that stuff should already be figured out by now. So there's no excuse for the other stuff falling behind.
Unless there's injuries. That's the only time we should see, like what's going on with Ciampa. That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's horrible. For those who know, he needs neck surgery. He's going to be out for who knows how long. We know usually that's months to a year. It's sad. It's really sad. And with that, we know they were hyping up the whole thing where they were going to go against a Revival and do that. So now that's been replaced with Black and Ricochet, which is still upsetting because those two guys, their characters are so strong. Their in-ring work is so strong. They don't need to be in a tag team.
Nope.
They absolutely don't. And I would say Aleister Black especially. This is a guy that I expect him to do a lot of stuff with.
This was the best spot to put up the Undisputed Era. This was it. Why couldn't they take that spot? War Raiders. Why couldn't they take legit tag teams? Why didn't they get it? Why do you have to put these two great single competitors together to make a tag team when you already have great tag teams on the side? Hell, even Sanity. What the hell? Those guys got called up long ago. They could have been involved in this.
Oh, well, I will say this, and I know that there was a report, obviously, that I saw within the last 24 hours that Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson said that they have no plans of re-signing with WWE. These guys haven't been on TV for quite a while. Yeah. So the same thing happened with Sanity. Whenever the time comes up to discuss their contract negotiations. But yeah, I agree. I do know, like you said, DIY. They were supposed to be in the place that Ricochet and Aleister Black is in right now. And as far as I'm concerned, as you already said, Aleister Black definitely 100% should be competing in the singles division right now. He shouldn't be in the tag division at all, in my opinion.
And most people's opinion, the same thing. They don't need it. They don't need it.
Oh yeah, and as for Ricochet, and I'll give a shout out to my very good friend Ricky, who said Ricochet still needs to work on his promos. So I mean, I know we were surprised called up so quickly, but whatever they decide to do with him, we'll see what happens with that.
Well, he was called up because the in-ring performance. The guy's amazing. We knew it. Even when they signed him, we were like, he's not going to stay in NXT long. I mean, come on now. This is, I know they paid a pretty penny to get him because every promotion on the planet wanted him. So it's definitely, he was a big draw. Definitely a big draw. But he doesn't need to be in this type of tag team. He's a great singles competitor. Yeah, his mic work isn't all that great, but I put him up there with Rob Van Dam. Like Rob Van Dam, same thing. Great in-ring work. He didn't need to be behind the mic. Speak in the ring. That's it. You don't need the mic. Not everybody needs to be an all-around, whatever WWE wants to create. They need to go through the Moneyball process and work that way. With everyone, it's like your weaknesses, your strengths. Great high flyer, great in ring. Okay, we'll put you with a manager. We'll start doing that. We'll bring managers back and have stables. That's what we had back in the day. Demolition didn't have great promos. They were stupid, gimmicky type, but you know what? They had great management. Bobby Heenan. Bobby did his thing. He spoke for a lot of his guys. He was very entertaining. He put a lot of guys over, and those guys couldn't do anything. They needed him. But they were great in-ring workers. So let the in-ring do its thing. That's it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds for this particular tag team. But we're definitely going to give our prediction today. But before we get into Fastlane and some of these matches, I know that there is this very special book that Dana wants to talk about. As I've heard her say, this is by far one of the best cookbooks currently on the market and is wrestling related. So, Dana, the floor is yours. Tell us what this book is all about.
Oh, thank you for giving me that floor. Yeah, it's okay. Wait, hold on. Let me show you accurately. There we go. So you guys can see it is the official WWE cookbook. It's official. It says official on it.
So is this the wrestlers' recipes? Is that what's going on here? Because I see, was it AJ and a few other people up there?
Yeah, these are all wrestlers' recipes. And, it's a great time for the spring. In New York City, we finally got temperatures over 20 degrees. So great time for the spring. And basically, as you can see here, table of contents, these are all different kind of recipes related to wrestlers. So for example, we have the Truffle H for Triple H, or the Ric Flair Woo Pies. Get it? Because it's woo.
Now, here's my thing with this. I want to did they submit these in, or were these recipes? And they said they talked to wrestlers. I'm like, which one would you like to be associated with?
I believe that they submitted these in, and then of course they rework the titles, so you get the.
Of course, yeah, I see the Mankind one. No, the titles are fun. Titles are really fun. When WWE had their restaurant, they did something like this with some of the items on the menu. I remember that.
Yeah, so these are like very reminiscent to, kind of like it has the WWE restaurant kind of feel, and
I miss that place.
They're easy to create. They're very simple ingredients. A lot. They have also some sandwiches. They don't offer all of the pictures, which is kind of like my pet peeve. Is I think you should have a cookbook where you show all of the pictures, exactly what you're doing. They have, so they have some of that. They have Rusev's, and he's doing couscous. And they have also like desserts, for example, that looks really good.
Oh, I see. Now that looks, what is that? What's that one?
Carmella mousse.
Carmella mousse.
Woo!
See. So, and it's really simple. For example, you just need 1/4 cup of water, some sugar, some corn syrup, lemon juice, some butter, heavy cream, some salt, and shaved chocolate. Really simple, and you get this.
I want to make that tonight.
That looks really good.
Great.
You have like a throwback to remember Fruity Pebbles with John Cena. I
don't believe John Cena eats anything besides like protein shakes and supplements.
I'm sorry to backtrack, but there's a question I have to ask.
Yeah.
That Carmella mousse.
Yeah.
I have to know, is that Corey Graves' favorite
dessert? Don't go there. Hey, that's a rumor. That's a rumor. That's a rumor.
Ouch.
That's a rumor. No, so how many recipes in total are we looking at in this book?
We also have drinks and cocktails.
Drinks. Oh, bringing the booze out. Nice.
Breakfast. There's some D-Generation X eggs.
You got me hungry. You got me hungry.
We are clearly looking at over 20 recipes, maybe close to 40.
When does this come out?
It's 124. It's 127 like different pages, and each page has a recipe. So like a lot of recipes. This comes out March 21st.
March 21st.
So that'll be out in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
We got some Suplex City soup from Brock Lesnar.
Oh no, that's horrible.
His is a little, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little rough. I don't think
it has to be. I mean, the guy grew up on a farm, so I'm expecting nothing but oatmeal from the man. That's it. I got family members grew up on a farm and stuff, and that's what they tell me they were raised on. They were like, oh, all we ate was damn oatmeal. I don't know. So,
but it's really nice. It's authentic, and
Whoa! I see Bret Hart. What's this?
Bret Hart has the Bret Hitman Heartachoke Granada. Get it? It's
artichoke. Okay. Yes.
Oh, whoa.
These are like side dishes. It also has the jabroni macaroni salad.
The jabroni macaroni. That's put that on a t-shirt. Put that on a t-shirt. Jabroni macaroni.
Yep. So March is when this comes out, and it's not bad. It's retailed at what is it? Over $26, maybe $27.
Mm-hmm.
But
now,
if you pre-order it, there's always sales that go along.
Okay,
tons of stuff.
Okay.
So pretty good.
Well, it definitely sounds good. I mean, especially if you're into cooking. I don't know how many people like with the wrestling. It's definitely, this looks like a collector's item to me. Like I know people that are big into collecting programs and things like that. This looks like one of those type of things. Like, hey, remember back in 2019 when they made a wrestling cookbook and you can get jabroni macaroni and what? It's like, yeah, this is it. But yeah, some of this sounds fun.
Yeah,
it sounds fun.
From breakfast to snacks, appetizers, soups, salads, sides, main dishes, desserts, beverages, cocktails. You can make it virgin. You can add tons of alcohol in it, and it's simple.
So there's one quick question I did want to ask. So, do either of you believe that it would be, I guess, a smart opportunity for WWE to offer some of these samples at WrestleMania since it's so close to WrestleMania to further?
It's almost impossible to do that because I was thinking almost opposite of have a booth and sell some of the popular ones. But what's popular? We don't even know. They just came out. So what do they think would sell well or fast make? And I would think it's the drinks. The drinks.
No, I think the drinks, and also if you have like the access. Remember when they do like the access before, like the week before?
Yeah. You could do that.
Like a pop or a food truck.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like to go along with it. It's like, all right, they could advertise like, hey, these are some of the items that you can make yourself and you could purchase now to try out. And here's the book.
Yeah.
It's just so you got to pick the ones that are quick and easy to make. And I would think the drinks would probably be the easiest. And the macaroni, the jabroni macaroni. Holy moly. I'm telling you, I like that. Jabroni macaroni.
Oh yeah, and I want to give a quick shout out to Ricky because he told me that he saw the post of the Bailey chicken huggets.
Yes, the Bailey chicken hugget.
Wait, who's that in that picture? Go back.
Wait, go back.
There was someone. No,
was it Cherry?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Sensation. How did they? She passed away. How did they? I don't get it.
Well, I think
does it give a story? Does it do a backstory of like, all right, so and so made this, or this is something that the person grew up with in their family? Like, how did they get a recipe from Sherry?
I don't think they got it from her, but
I know that's what I'm saying. Like, somebody close to her. I mean, I don't know.
They didn't obviously they didn't interview her for what is it, I think, but I think a lot was pulled from conversations and archives.
Okay.
From previous.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. That would be a great backstory to say, hey, when we were on the road, this is something that she would pick up at the store and then make while we were doing our travels or something. You know what I mean? Like, I would figure that would be a really cool backstory. Oh, even the Warrior. That's another one who I feel like just never eats. Just supplement and protein shakes. Man, real food can't go in that body like that.
Protein shake. That's a great protein shake recipe.
And I remember a long time I used to live on whey and oatmeal and stuff. That's it.
Yeah, and there's sadly no protein shakes in here, which I think would have been really as well. But no, they don't have that. But they have a lot of other things. So the jabroni macaroni salad, I know you're excited about.
Okay,
and they have
Damn, I'm so hungry right now. I'm so hungry.
Uh-oh. I guess it worked if you're getting Adam hungry.
I'm hungry. I like macaroni. I always get like a buffalo mac and stuff at Noodle and Company. So I love macaroni and jabroni macaroni. I'm sure that's something I want to learn how to make, just so I can say, hey, anybody want jabroni macaroni? That's it.
Well, yeah, it's and it's not pot pies. There's filet mignon if you want to be a little bougie.
Oh, you're getting fancy.
There's flan ballar. Get it?
Yeah, I might get it. It's not flan.
Flan. Oh, what is that? Oh, look, I can't pronounce half of this. So yes, flan ballar.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you got crab cakes with fava beans. So you have a lot of stuff.
Now, doesn't Asuka own a food place or something out in Japan? I know she owns a few businesses. She's an entrepreneur. She owns a few. But I'm just wondering because maybe she grabbed one of those items and put that in the book recipe. Who knows?
Well,
this is what it looks like.
I actually didn't know that she owns other businesses, but I think that's a good.
It's cutting out. Do you hear? Can you hear him, Dana?
No, it's cutting out completely.
He is. You're cutting out completely, Rich.
The way they book her on the show, so to hear that.
Well, we're live, people. This is happens. Rich, you okay? It sounded like you were cutting out.
Can you hear me right now?
It's cutting out.
I have no idea what that was causing that.
Cut out.
All right.
I heard these.
Let's see. All right. Well, no, the book sounds great.
Yep.
Sounds fun.
Sounds fun. And, it's good for barbecue season, which is around the corner.
I'm telling you, if anything, the names themselves would sell some of those recipes. Yes. Just for people wanting to make some of these funny. That was like, hey, I'm going to make something different and then throw out one of those names. And I was like, oh, what is that? And then, as long as if it tastes good, if it tastes great, then it works. Because I was like, all right, this could be something we can do on a regular basis. So
it's published also by Inside Editions. Not Inside, but Insight Editions. It is fun to look at and consume. And they have like the large pancakes because of the whole big show. So a lot of things. It plays on size and it's cute.
All right.
And simple to make. Again, that's also very important. They're very simple to make and you can easily follow the instructions. And there's Bootios.
Bootios. Wait. Bootio, that's a cereal.
They make you know how you make the Rice Krispie treats?
Yes.
They're Bootio treats.
Oh, Bootio treats. See, there you go. Bootios and jabroni macaroni. Like, these are some fun recipes. These are the ones that you make and people like, or you just say it. People are like, all right, make it because I want to taste it. But hopefully it has its own distinct taste. It's great that it's like a Rice Krispie treat, but hopefully it tastes different. I have not had Bootios because you could only get them in select locations.
Oh, well, when you go to WrestleMania, you can pick up Bootios.
All right. They sell Bootios at the shows? I've never seen Bootios at the shows.
Yeah, you're going to be at WrestleMania. Yeah.
Okay. So can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
You hear me clear now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so I think that Corey Graves did not like my joke earlier, so he made sure that he reported me to Google. That's the only explanation I can think of because that was very weird.
That was weird. Yeah, it was like he was just kind of, but it's all right. It's cool now. Well, that sounds good. The book, and what was it? You said March 20.
March 20th.
Okay.
And if you pre-order it through any website, obviously you can get it for much cheaper. But it's going to be like $23.
$23.
Awesome.
All right, it's not bad. It's a big book. There's a lot of content in there, so
that's
a lot of fun content.
That's definitely worth checking out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I just want to make a quick comment before we move on to Fastlane. I know that since we've been on the show, the last time I actually went to WWE Raw here in Atlanta. This was the same Raw in which Roman Reigns announced that he is finally in remission. I just want to let people know if you are going to WrestleMania or any of these other shows leading up to WrestleMania, you'll actually get a depending on if you are subscribed to WWE Network or not. If you don't have a WWE Network subscription and you haven't had one for a while, you'll actually get a 2-month free pass to the network if you actually buy a ticket to one of these shows. So for those that are going to WrestleMania, this is good information to know. If you don't have a WWE Network, I'm just letting you know you are going to be getting an email about this after the show, like the day after the show or whatever. They'll say, hey, you went to WrestleMania? Okay, so we're going to give you free access to the network for 2 months. So
yeah, if anything, can they give that to friends? It's not linked to their account, right? It's just a code. Because I'm assuming, think about it. If you're going to WrestleMania, come on now, you follow the product.
Yeah,
the WrestleMania is for the heart of the hardcore. This is your Super Bowl.
Well,
you know what I mean.
Well, to answer that question, whatever email you use to purchase the tickets, that's where they'll send this.
That's where they send it. All right, that's cool to know. That's good to know.
Because if I could be very candid, I got the network under this other email like when it first launched, but then I canceled it because I wasn't really satisfied with the content at that particular time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got this offer, there's no way in hell I was going to turn it down and say no. Let me just not no. So, but yeah, that's good little information for those that don't have it now. That's a great opportunity to get into the network.
I've been with the network since day one.
Woo.
Like when they announced it was live, I mean, I remember the countdown, and when that went live, I jumped on there. So I remember getting an email and seeing a little video package. Thank you from Vince McMahon. That they sent out to all of the early adopters for that. Like that was, I don't regret it. I mean, this is something I've been dreaming about since I was a kid. I was like, a wrestling 24/7 network. I always thought it was going to be on TV, but with the modern age now, this is even better because I don't have to worry about missing something or recording it. And I just click a button and I can watch it. I just wish they would update the interface and make it more accessible when it comes to researching and looking up certain people and certain matches. It's just, there's a lot of content on there. So, but besides that, I mean, it's great for what you get, especially with all the pay-per-views. Like that's till this day, when I tell people that, yeah, all the pay-per-views are included, they just don't believe me. They don't believe me. They're like, no, it can't be. No, because it's still on the cable says you can still rent it. No, that makes no sense. For that price, no, they can make more money. WrestleMania is not part of it, right? It's like, yeah, it is. No. But it's true. I mean, there's no other service that does, especially with live events. UFC doesn't do that. Their Fight Network, they don't do that. Those pay-per-view events stuff, so you still got to pay for it. It's just other things on there. So it's definitely worth it. I love it. You know, I watch it at least once or twice a week. Definitely when NXT is on, and now I'm trying to get into the UK NXT.
So yeah, absolutely. So hey, something worth checking out. So let's go ahead and let's get into the nitty gritty with this pay-per-view, because obviously this is, I think, a lot of people want to hear what we have to say about this, and I know that you both absolutely love WWE. You haven't had any criticisms of WWE over the last couple of months. So
their customer service sucks.
That's just oh yes. So,
I got to say one thing about that, what you just mentioned, and it's funny how this has happened in modern times, that it's not the place to be anymore, or it's being perceived as not the place. We've heard it for so long. It was like with these indie guys. Yeah, my goal is to get there. I want to get there, you know, and then we're all excited for these guys. We want all these people there. But with what we're seeing, which it looks like a lot of favoritism of certain wrestlers that just get constantly used, and it's why we're seeing them getting injured all the time. And we know that there's even more talent in the back just not being used. No. This is not the place to be. No. For the wrestlers and for the fans. For the fans, there's plenty of wrestlers that we were like, yeah, that'd be great to see them there, but we don't want them to go there because, you know, for two factors, mainly. One, they're not going to be used correctly, and two, they may never be used at all. You know, I remember when I was thrilled when we would always hear about guys from NXT getting called up, because like, all right, great matchups, and it's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see it. And then we don't see those matchups, and we don't see the guys at all. Like case in point, Sanity. We don't see them at all. Recently, not too long ago, we saw what's his name? I'm drawing a the leader. What's his? I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on his name.
You mean Eric
Young? Yeah, exactly. See, I can't believe it. I'm talking about him. I forgot his name. Eric Young. We saw him go against Finn, and we saw that. But I mean, what the hell?
Well, I guess as Vince would say,
with the Ricochet. Sorry.
I guess as Vince would say, WWE creative doesn't have anything for you. So,
you know, and I don't believe that. I don't believe that it's the creative. I believe it's Vince. I believe that creative, when they get these guys, are like, all right, listen, we could do this, we could do that. But he has his favorites, and he feels that this is how he wants his product to be produced and shown, and he wants the people that he picks to be put front and center. You know, if we go based off of what Dave Meltzer and everyone was talking about, is that he didn't even know much about Ricochet or anyone there because he doesn't watch NXT.
Yeah.
He just said, hey, send up for the best guys there, and let's just work from there.
Yep.
Because, I mean, think about it. If you see with Aleister Black, with his entrance and with his moveset, everything, this is your modern day Undertaker. This could easily be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But we're starting him off on this foot where he's in a tag team with Ricochet. It just doesn't go well. I mean, yeah, he can talk. You know, it's all right. They put him on the mic. He doesn't need to be on the mic. When they hand him a mic, I'm like, why are you doing this? Why? He even said it. They even, like Michael Cole even said, it's like, if you have any questions, just read his body. He tattooed his life story on his body. That's enough. There you go. That's it. Why give him a mic and do the whole thing? Why do any of that? Why talk to him in the back? Don't do the whole mystique thing. They're already doing it with his entrance, with the candles, the smoke. He rises up. You know, that's awesome. That was great. Doesn't need all that. But they're not doing it that way. They're just pushing him out there, misusing him.
Yeah.
You know, so when we hear like with Gallows and Anderson and they won out, one, they made some good money. You make good money when you're in a WWE. That's why when people are like, man, they're losing all that money. They've already made a lot of money. So they're like, you know what? We got some money in the bank. Now we're still young enough to do something relevant in this industry. We're not doing anything here. They're not really using us. They have no plans for us. So we're going to leave. Because I feel at this point, WWE just wants all this talent there in case something happens. It's sort of like sitting on a bench as a reserve player. You know, how many times do you play? Well, whenever the starter gets hurt or the second string, I'm third string. Yeah. You know, and that's what we're seeing. But the thing is, the quality of these guys in WWE, they're not third string. They're all first string.
Yeah. Well, you're right.
You know, so if you're picking favorites and we're constantly going to see the Usos and the Bar and do all that stuff, and then you're going to smack everyone in the face when you say, hey, we're going to give the tag titles to the Miz and to Shane McMahon. Oh, the boss's son is coming back. And yeah, now we got to watch this shit. Come on now. That's a smack in the face.
Well, hold on. Now I have to stop you right there, because according to Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H, this is what the fans want, right? They want to see Shane out there wrestling with the Miz. Obviously, it's a storyline just so that Shane ends up having a match at WrestleMania with the Miz. That's going to happen.
Nope. I have no problems with him wanting to get involved. That's great, because he's good at taking bumps and throwing his body everywhere and doing all that. But don't put him in the main event. Don't make him a main event star. You got plenty of quality guys that dedicate their lives to this. Put them in that spot. Have him as just another match on the card. There's no reason to boost him up for what? Why are you doing that? Don't do that.
Oh no, I agree 100%. And as for with Gallows and Anderson, I do believe when they decided to bring back Matt Hardy and pair him again with Jeff Hardy, that was it for the Good Brothers. Because now I'm pretty sure the Hardy Boys will get a title match at WrestleMania against the Usos, unless they make it a multi-man tag match. But I think that's exactly the direction they're going with the Hardy Boys, since they've already been having back and forth conversations with the Usos. So
it's just, I mean, that's the problem. I mean, this is one of those things where WWE has great talent. They have amazing talent. This is probably the best time we've ever seen the WWE regarding talent. And they just don't know how to use them. Or maybe they feel they don't have the time right to use them, which I don't believe, because they have plenty of time. You have plenty of shows, SmackDown, Raw, NXT, 205, even though 205 has fallen to the wayside, is no longer live, and a lot of their talent has been popping up on other shows. It's still a platform. Change it up. Switch the name. Say, we're changing 205 to High Flyers or something. Give it some other cheesy name or something, but get rid of the 205 weight class, because once you do that, you're pigeonholing yourself. You're like, all right, now everyone's going to look at these guys. I'm like, man, he looks a little bigger. You know, Buddy Murphy is not 205. Come on now. You know, so you're fooling no one. And they knew that when he first showed up, and they were trying to play the gimmick off like, oh, look, we're weighing him before every match. If you got to weigh a guy before every match, something's wrong. You know, it's not natural. And he even says, he was like, yeah, he's been cutting water and all blah, 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 blah. No, get rid of the 205 and do something else, because they could be very entertaining. You know, those guys are very talented. But everybody's jumping ship, you know, wanting to go to other parts or just leave the company altogether because they didn't do anything with that brand.
That's right. Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
Remember, for a long time, they were changing the rope colors and everything just for those matches. They were treating it really separate. They weren't acknowledging them. They weren't doing anything. Sort of like with NXT. NXT, they never really acknowledged it when they did the big pay-per-view Survivor Series. How come you didn't put NXT in there? Because they weren't seeing it as a brand. When Triple H,
now it is.
Well, that's it. And that's the thing, that it happened very nonchalant and real quick. Just when Triple H came out and said, "Hey, we're making some changes and this and this and this and that, and you know, we got great brands like NXT and this and this and that." Basically, and people were like, "All right, what does that mean?" And then he's like, "Here's some of them right now." And he started, you know, bringing out Ricochet and Aleister Black, and that crowd was not prepared for it. They didn't know what was going on. They were dead. They didn't know what was going on.
We're dead.
And it was very sad. That's not the way to do it. It felt rushed. The whole idea felt rushed. This is something they should have promoted. They should have built up. It's like, hey, NXT is no longer the developmental area. NXT now is the third brand. Just like you have SmackDown, now you got NXT. Because that's the way Triple H is describing it. But that's not how it came off. So people are very confused. They're like, what is happening? Why is Ricochet and Aleister Black even involved on all these shows? What's happening? People still don't really know.
Just walking up and down a ramp.
Yeah, that's the other thing. What is up with that? Who cares? No one. She's not that great of a worker.
Nope.
But yet they're parading her around in some weird way.
Well, hold on. You're talking about Lacey Evans?
Well, that's what Dana just pointed to, because that's another one that got called up and it doesn't lead anywhere. I think
we already know why they're doing this with her, and that is because this is Vince's type. The blonde hair.
Oh yeah. No, we get that. But for the audience, when you're supposed to be informing the audience of what's happening, we don't know what's happening. And if you think about, all right, what they said, they have close to 2 million subscribers, I think, now on the network.
Yeah.
So. And then if you think the countless millions of people that watch the product, they don't know who any of these people are. They don't know. That's the reason why we saw that reaction with Aleister Black and stuff, because people don't watch the network. There's not that many people that have the network. So again, poor promoting, because those guys should have been highly promoted beforehand. Guess who's showing up? And they were trying to squeeze all of that in during this show. Remember, they're like, hey, watch this highlight video. Watch this, watch that, watch this. You're rushing this. You're scrambling, and this is the wrong way to introduce this quality, these top talents that you have.
Well, I agree 100%. The fans don't know who these people are, but I also think that was a horrible place to debut those wrestlers, because that crowd was just horrible the whole show.
Yeah, because they just, I think they was just thrown off with all of it. Ciampa coming out and Johnny wrestling. Like, wait, what? They were quiet. They didn't understand what was happening. That's a strictly WWE universe right there. Just that. They don't follow everything on the network. They don't watch NXT. They just watch whatever's on the main product.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, and that was a downfall. It's downfall, and it's what it is, because this is what we have now.
I agree. Yeah.
So I drifted on that, but the whole point back with you said with the Luke Anderson and Gallows and all that, with them leaving, that's just too much talent, and a lot of these guys are playing third string when they should be first string, and they've been paid well. They have a lot of money in the bank already, and they're like, you know what? Financially, we could go back out there. We could pop up. Doesn't mean everyone's going to AEW. Ring of Honor is now offering some good contracts. New Japan needs some new contracts. There's other promotions. The MLW is trying to pick up steam. Impact is a working place. You may not get good money, but hey, you're going to get work. They're not going to turn you away. They're taking anybody who wants to work. I don't know what's up with Lucha Underground. I don't think anyone does. Hopefully it's still around, but their talent has been ripped to shreds. They're all over the place. So
no, you're right. But I do agree. Like I will say this. I don't want to go too off topic, because we are going to get into Fastlane, but I do want to say this. I don't really understand the fascination that people have. All this hope that AEW is going to resolve all of these issues with the other talent, with the creative stuff. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I will say this. I do want Vince to feel the effect of how bad creative is messing up his product now when you see other people leave. So I do want to see them respond to all these people that want to leave. I just don't know what the response is going to be. But I do think it's going to take a major star leaving for them to be like, okay, we got to make changes.
This is the worst time for WWE and for Vince. People don't understand. They're like, oh, well, this is like with the WCW and this is AEW and this is going to be great. No, this is worse than all of that, because WCW, a lot of guys were leaving to go there for money. Yep. These are people that are leaving not for money. They're just leaving. When you're hearing that Dean was offered multi-million, when you hear that the Good Brothers offered multi-million, the Revival offered multi-million, and they're turning it down, that's scary for a promoter. Because if they're not willing to take millions of dollars and they're just willing to walk away with no guarantee of future employment, what the hell is going on? That's when you have to look at yourself and be like, all right, something we're doing is wrong, because now we can lose people regardless of who's out there hiring. That's a scary place, because they've never had that issue. They've always had, well, it's a financial thing. Before WCW, they just couldn't match WCW salaries. So, all right, they're leaving for money. We got it. The guys are leaving for money. Well, these big names are not leaving for money. So then what? What else do you offer them? Which is why we started seeing like the Revival was winning some matches, and we're seeing some of the other guys were winning their matches. Uso won the titles, even though the guy had, the DUI and had the whole issue with the cops and all that DWI. He wasn't driving, I get it, but he still had the confrontation and all that. But usually in the past, that's it. You're going to be suspended. Something's going to happen to you. You're going to be off TV. Nope. Next night you get the titles. Why? Because they're trying to keep them. They want to keep these people, and they think this is the solution. Let's have them win big matches. Let's give them titles. They did it with Revival. They gave them a title. Think about it. Right after we heard that they turned down their contract and all that, poof, they get the titles. We got Bruce Pritchard, who's back over there. He's a big yes man to Vince. As much as I love the something to wrestle with, I love that podcast. It's great and all, but he's very much a Vince guy. He's always been there. All these wrestlers that started their own show always say the same thing. He is his mouthpiece when Vince isn't there. And I think that's why he's brought back. Vince, there's not going to be much change. Vince probably just doesn't want to travel and do all this stuff. He is getting older. So he's like, you know what, Bruce, you're my mouthpiece. You know what I like. You do it. So he's going to be he's going to be representing Vince. I don't see any real improvement on that.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, it definitely needs to change. And then we see, I don't know if it's true, but I wouldn't doubt it. The whole thing of Jeff Jarrett now being put onto creative. And, hey, you could laugh, but you know what? Jeff did a lot of great work with Impact TNA before they sold to Dixie.
Wait a second. When I said this during the Hall of Fame induction, all of y'all laughed at me and said I was crazy.
No. I didn't want to see it. I didn't believe it, but it's there. It is now. I mean, I'm not hating on it. We didn't hate it. We just couldn't believe that it was happening.
Well, allow me to say that just for the record, I don't have a problem with Jeff getting involved with the creative, but I do not want to see him outside the ring taking bumps from Elias. I don't want to see that. So if they got to do this to keep him involved with the company or behind the scenes, great. But I do not want to see him taking up valuable TV time when they could have another person out there.
I'm still disappointed. I'm still disappointed that they picked up Abyss just as a producer role, and that he's not going to be performing in the ring. There's so many dream matches I would have loved to see, and now I know it's not happening.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, maybe you'll see him next year make an appearance in the Royal Rumble to get thrown out, by another wrestler or something like that.
That's true. We might see some of those. But all right. So I mean, you know what? Let's do this Fastlanes. This is it.
Yeah. So we'll move on to Fastlane right now, and we may have another guest joining us momentarily. So the first match, we're going to start with the pre-show because there are two matches, and I'm going to allude to the fact of something Dana said earlier of wrestlers not knowing they're wrestling on the card until damn near 24 to 48 hours before the match is supposed to happen. So the first match we have New Day, featuring Big E and Xavier Woods versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. So I'll go to you first, Dana. Who do you think is going to win this match?
Oh gosh. This seems so thrown together and last minute. I would have to say that the New Day has been having a really big resurgence because of Kofi. And unfortunately, Rusev has kind of like faded away. So I'm going to have to go with Big E.
Yeah, that sounds good. How about you, Adam?
I don't know. This is tricky. Because is it really the New Day again resurgence, or it's just Kofi? And I think if they have to break them up. They have to break them up, at least for Kofi's sake. Kofi has to leave. And the only thing I can think of is that the other two go heel. And they just play a jealousy angle or something. And so I see Big E not winning this one. But man, it's tough. It's tough. There's another one that got put in such a pigeonhole. It's like, all right, you're stuck in this spot where you're the entertainment, you're the comedy, but yet you're now, well, at least one of you are now going to get moved to the main roster aspect of it. You're going to be getting bumped to the top. So it's a tricky spot with this one, but yeah, I see Rusev. Rusev has to win some, because I can see Rusev also trying to put in a release.
Good. Really, in the whole grand scheme of things, are we going to miss Rusev if he does leave?
I feel that we haven't seen the best of Rusev. We know he's hilarious. It's funny. He's a funny guy, and he can offer a lot more. We're just not seeing it. It's a shame, because for a long time they wanted to come out with him, the Bulgarian and blah blah blah, and he was the big bad brute foreigner. You know that they always like to portray foreigners, but that's not the case. And they dropped that, and we had the Rusev Day, which I know that's pretty much done with also. But he's a great talent, and I think if he can get more mic time, he is one guy who deserves mic time. He could definitely sell himself, and he could be a top babyface. We're just not seeing that, but I think it's his time to shine. If they want to keep him, that's what I would do. If I was part of it, I'd tell Vince, like, hey, the guy's hilarious. Put him on. Let him talk. But he's a bad guy. Look at him. No, he's a good guy. Good guy, but a bad guy, not so bad. He looks like Zangief, from Street Fighter. Put him on. It could work.
So, I think those are both great picks. My personal thought is that, I know that Shinsuke Nakamura's contract is up sometime this year. I don't know what they're doing, what the hell they're going to do with Nakamura, because he's in this tag team now, no longer has a title. I have no idea if they're going to ever put him back in the title picture. What I do believe is that, Kofi Kingston is the main focus of the New Day thing right now. So I personally feel that they are going to make Big E and Xavier get a win in this match, only because, Rusev has been very public many times about the stuff he doesn't like about WWE and the frustration. And I know that his wife has been taking shots at WWE on Twitter, social media. Anytime that she has an opportunity to do that, she does that. I'm pretty sure they don't like that even if she doesn't mention them outright. So to punish her, I think that means he will also be punished, and that means that he's going to probably take a couple more losses, because they just had Rusev and Shinsuke lose to Ricochet and Aleister Black. Mm-hmm. So
I would agree with that if it wasn't the situation that they're in with all these people wanting to leave.
Yeah.
Because of that, I think they're going to try to play it safe and not have that, because you start punishing certain people, especially them now, is not a good time when people that you're not punishing are saying, hey, we're ready to go. It's like, wait, what? Because then you're putting more holes into their system, and that's something that they're trying to avoid. They're trying to plug all of that. This is why they're trying to offer all these contracts leading into this new Fox deal.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree. I just think that I don't really think that WWE values Rusev the way he should be valued.
Oh, they don't. They absolutely don't.
So if he does leave, they're not going to really care about that, because they haven't really. They had opportunities where they could have done so much with this character, and then like for example, you could talk about when he was the U.S. champion, and then he lost to John Cena. There's so many opportunities they had where they could have done so much more with him in Rusev Day, and they didn't. So I feel like if he leaves, they'll be like, okay, well, have a nice life. They won't really care about that. I mean, yeah, you make some good points. So I'm curious to see how they handle this. But I will say one thing. I really do believe that this New Day breakup is coming, because, again, I kind of expected there to be some type of turn where Kofi lost the match against Daniel Bryan, and that never happened. I do think it's coming, though, because, once again, they have the brand split, the draft, whatever the hell you want to call it. That's coming up like 2 weeks after WrestleMania. So I feel like you have to do something with it. A lot of people are going to get moved to different shows. But I feel like, and we'll get into this later, maybe Kofi is unsuccessful at WrestleMania again, then the turn happens. But I feel like the turn is coming. I just don't know if it's going to come like before Fastlane is over. It may be later.
I see him winning. I see Kofi going for the title, at WrestleMania. I think that's where they're moving this because it makes no sense when Vince came out and says, "No, I got someone better, Kevin Owens." And he's going to be the one. This is a bigger name. And then just bump that because you just finished like a month ago coming out saying that you're going to give people what they want. You hear what they want. And then you're going to smack them in the face with like this. Oh, the guy who kicked me in the face and frog splashed me and made me bleed and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm going to bring him back. He's a bigger star. That was silly. But I have a feeling because they're setting up for something bigger for Kofi. And I could see him going to Mania. And hell, you want to have a Mania moment, a big shocker moment, have him win the title.
Nope.
No.
So
nope.
Let's see what you have to say, Dana. But we definitely will come back to this. But
we'll come back. We'll come back. So right now, what is it? You predict Rusev winning this one?
No, I think the New Day will find a way to win this match. I'm not really sure how that's going to happen because again, Kofi is not anywhere on this card. Obviously, he's going to be at watching this world title match, obviously. But I think they may find a way to have New Day win, just to give the perception to everybody. Oh, New Day is on momentum. Everybody on New Day is winning. They're all on good terms. And then if something dramatic happens at WrestleMania, then it'll be that much of a shocker because they'll be like, "What the hell is this? Why are these guys turning on Kofi?" So that's why I say they'll probably have New Day win this, but we'll see.
And remember, for a long time before, everyone thought it was just going to be Big E. Remember, they tried so many times to give Big E his solo push, and it just doesn't work out. And Xavier's entertaining. I think he could be fine, but again, I think he needs to be in a group. I don't think it works well by himself. I don't know. And Kofi didn't need any of them. Kofi was fine just where he was. It's just they didn't do anything with him. But he had his own thing. He already had dropped the Jamaican accent. Remember that? they took that off of him, but he was still doing his thing. It was still working out.
By the way, since you mentioned that, I do want to say, when he has that match at WrestleMania, that is the entrance I want him to do. I don't want the New Day entrance. I want him the original Kofi Kingston entrance with that music and everything. I think that's
in the 2K19.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yes.
Yeah, it's in there.
That needs to happen. But no, continue what you were saying. I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I think that's going to be the big issue that they run across. All right, Kofi, we got it set. People want him. He's obviously he can perform in the ring. Talent's there, so that's not an issue. It's all about having Vince agree to that to put over Kofi and move him up to the main stage. But then what do you do with his buddies? And that's why I feel that the only way to make them relevant after this is that they have to go heel on him.
Yeah.
They have to go heel on him and do that whole thing. It was like, oh, you think you're too good for us. You know what? And then they start beating on him or whatever. And that way they're still involved as a tag team. And then that can still branch off into what Daniel Bryan is doing. And then just spin them in that direction as a tag team.
So I definitely agree with that. I do have a couple of other things I'm going to say a little bit later. It might be a little controversial, but we'll get into that later. We do have a guest that has joined us. It's my very good friend Ricky. How's it going, Ricky?
Slick Rick.
Going good. I'm coming in for the hot tag.
Hot tag. I still haven't got that trophy. Thank you. That trophy glitched for me. I could never get the hot tag worked out.
All right, so yes, welcome to the show, Ricky. You already know. You've been watching. You already know what we're discussing. So I guess I have to ask you now. Who is your winner between New Day, Big E, and Xavier versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev?
Well, I'm going to say that the New Day win that match. I don't think that they have anything really for Rusev and Nakamura. So they're going to do the job for New Day. And Kofi's going to be a big part of why the New Day are going to get a little bit more of a spotlight. But we'll go into that, a little bit later.
Okay.
I'll say New Day. Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. All right, so on that note, let's move on to the other pre-show match, which, in my personal opinion, it shouldn't be a pre-show match. But then again, they've had this match multiple times, so it kind of has lost a little bit of its luster, I think. we have Rey Mysterio versus Andrade. You know, obviously Andrade Cien Almas, but Andrade is the only name that they're calling this guy now. So, how about I go to you first, Ricky? Who do you think is going to win this match?
Cien Almas is going to actually lose this one. It seems to me that he had been dominating that feud with Rey Mysterio, so they got to balance it out a bit and have Rey get a victory here. So I think that Mysterio takes it.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. So how about you, Dana? Who is your pick for this match?
I forgot Rey Mysterio was still employed with the WWE.
Are you kidding? Come on now.
Like, it's just sad now. Remember, like,
what do you mean sad? They're having some amazing matches. This is probably the best person that Rey could work with on his comeback, because this guy knows the lucha style. They're doing Canadian destroyers and stuff during their matches. This is nuts.
No, and that's great, and that's wonderful, and yay! But when it comes to the actual marketing and build back up of Rey Mysterio, they don't do that at all. Like, he just comes in for his match and he goes.
It's not for him, though. That's the thing. This is not about Rey. This is about Andrade. This is getting him over.
And I got that. At the same time, I just forget that Rey Mysterio exists. That, you know, so yeah. But since he is doing the great job of building him up, then Ciena's gonna win.
Well, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. So how about you, Adam? Who was your pick?
Ciena's gonna win this one. Ciena's gonna win this one. His manager will get involved or something, and it'll be a dirty win. But he's definitely gonna win because it's all about him. This feud is all about him. Rey Mysterio is beyond over. You know, if we're playing any game, and then it's like, yeah, my character is 75, my other one's 85. My Rey Mysterio is 96. You know what I mean? My Rey Mysterio is beyond whatever you have. Think about it. He comes out, he gets a pop, he sells merch just for showing up. Win or lose, he's still that superhero that the little kids love to see. He's small, he can do flips and flops, and they love it. So it's like, all right, we need to get certain people over. How do we do that? Well, pit him against Rey, and if Rey can work with him, Rey could absolutely work with Andrade, which is why they're having some amazing matches. And this is putting Andrade in the spotlight because people want to see Rey. And they're like, all right, who's he going against? Oh, this dude. Oh, okay. Wow, that guy's pretty good. Oh, wow, look at that. Because Rey's not going to be around forever. You know, so this is their new blood right here with Andrade. And this is the way you showcase him. And it's working out. It's working out. I like it. I'm looking forward to this match.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree. So, you know, great thoughts all around. As for who I believe is going to win, I do believe that this is not the last match they're going to have with these two guys, and I think that if you do have a match at WrestleMania, whether it's a multi-man match or whatever, that I think is when you want Andrade to win, because then it's on the bigger stage and it gets a lot more attention. So I think for this particular match, I definitely could see Rey Mysterio winning, just because, as Ricky mentioned earlier, to try and balance this little feud out. Because yeah, Andrade has been beating the hell out of Rey Mysterio, you know, all throughout this feud so far. So yeah, but you know, it can go either way. But I do think that if you want Andrade to continue to grow as a superstar, I don't know if you're going to have him win 2 back-to-back pay-per-view matches against Rey Mysterio. So I would say Rey Mysterio is probably going to win this match, although there could be some cheating involved with Andrade as well. But more than likely, I think they're going to save Andrade's big victory for WrestleMania if this match actually happens at WrestleMania, which it can. But
you think it's going to go that far?
Yeah.
Because I thought it was going to end here. I was like, this is it.
Here's what I think personally is that I think we're going to have the good old 50-50 booking that we see where you have Rey Mysterio win this match, and then they have a rematch immediately on SmackDown where Almas gets the win to kind of offset the loss at the pay-per-view. They do that kind of thing all the time. So I kind of see them going that route.
Yeah, and yeah, I do see that happening. And to answer your question, Adam, about do I think it's going to go that long? See, the thing is, there's a wild card in all of this. Obviously, they had that United States title match on SmackDown this past week, where we saw Samoa Joe finally get a title on the main roster.
Yeah, finally. And again, I bet you that's another one. He's like, you probably pat him on the shoulder. I think I might be leaving too. Oh no.
Yeah,
you get a belt. Buff for you, buff for everybody. Don't leave.
If that story comes out later, I will not be surprised. But I will say this: that his victory, I found that interesting because once again, in both of those situations where R-Truth defended the title, Rey Mysterio and Andrade were in those matches. That's why I say,
I love R-Truth. I love what they're doing with R-Truth. Everything with him getting his matches is saying that when I grew up, I want to be like John Cena.
Oh yeah, that has been entertaining.
That was very entertaining. But I feel like this big push that they're giving him is because maybe he's retiring soon. He's an older guy. This is the biggest push they've given him since before he was even R-Truth, when he's Kate Quick.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. So depending on what happens at WrestleMania, whether or not we get John Cena versus Samoa Joe, which I don't think is going to happen now. I do think we'll get a multi-man match. And in that multi-man match, you'll probably see Andrade, you'll probably see Rey Mysterio, and you'll see R-Truth all trying to get the U.S. title. So that's why I say, I don't think this feud is over between.
Wait, you just threw John Cena for the title? You think he has time for holding a belt? You think they're gonna have two part-time title holders with Brock and Cena?
Well, here's the thing. No. Obviously, he wouldn't win that match, but I'm only saying because I know Vince loves to go back to John Cena, and just like they are trying so hard right now to try and get Undertaker on the WrestleMania card, I can definitely see them going to Cena and saying, "Hey, John, whatever you want, we need you to come back to WrestleMania to just one more match." And they can have him lose to
he's not retired. Joe. He said he's not retired, so he'll definitely come back for a match, but I don't think it'll be a title match. I mean, come on, no, it's not believable. And if he does it, it's gonna suck because people already know he's busy doing TV, movies, all that stuff.
That's true.
So no, don't do that. You see the backlash we get with Brock already running around. And people forget Brock was not the first person to do that with the title. The Rock did that with the title.
Absolutely.
When he took that off of Cena, remember, and he was gone. The next time he defended was at the next pay-per-view, that's WrestleMania. That was crazy.
He took it off. He took it off of Punk, and
that's a Punk. Sorry, a Punk. That's right.
They were pissed.
They were pissed. That's right. They were pissed, and he disappeared. You know, and that was the first time they did it, and it's amazing that they decided to do it again with Brock.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. So that probably won't happen. I only say that because I know Samoa Joe said some trash about John Cena in that little post-match interview, and then it talked about all the other people, So yeah, John Cena thing is probably not going to happen, but they definitely are going to have a multi-man match for that U.S. title, I think, at WrestleMania, and then you're going to probably see Andrade and Rey Mysterio in that match. If that's
I think most of those matches are going to be multi-man, and mainly just to give everybody the WrestleMania moment. Yeah. There's only so much time, even though it's like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours long, the show. You still want to have some quality matches, and you have a massive roster. You just have a massive roster. So,
no, absolutely. So, on that note, now we're going to move on to the main card, and I'm pretty sure y'all won't have much to say about some of these matches. But then again, I don't know because a lot of these matches you already told me, Adam, you're looking forward to. So we'll see about that. So first and foremost, let's address the tag matches because some of these are a little ridiculous. Now we spoke about Aleister Black and Ricochet earlier. They are going to be in a triple threat Raw Tag Team Championship match against the Revival and Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. So who do you guys think is going to win that match? And I'll go to you first, Adam, since you had a lot to say about Aleister Black and Ricochet.
It all depends on, again, this is all backstage politics then, because it doesn't really matter. It all comes up to what happens with Revival. Or if they agree to a new contract and decide to stay, then they're going to get those belts. If not, they're going to definitely lose. Aleister Black, Ricochet don't need the belt. They've been on a winning streak as this tag team for a few weeks now. They don't need it. They don't need it. But the whole point of putting them out there, I get it. You know, get them in front of people's eyes together, 2-for-1 type of thing. You know, but they don't need it. You know, Bobby Roode, he needs something, because ever since when we talked about it earlier, people that get called up that were hot in NXT and then they just fizzled out, he was one of them. How do you take a hot heel and bring him in as a babyface with a narcissistic character that he has? That doesn't make sense. That's a heel character. So I don't get it. I don't get what they were doing, and it's a shame that he's in this spot to begin with. But hopefully they because they're still the champs, right?
Oh no!
I mean, the Revival has the belt still. They still have the belt. That's right. Fuck.
Yeah.
So I see Bobby. So then, if anything, Bobby would win. Bobby and Gable win, because Revival. That's right. They still have. And it all depends, I think, on behind the scenes. If Revival sign a new contract, they retain. If they don't, they drop. You know, Ricochet, they don't need it.
Well, I think the Revival's contract doesn't start until like 2020, right? It was in 2020.
Whoa, not that far out. No, I thought it was a few months.
Oh, well.
What? It's longer than that? Then if that's the case, then...
No, the Revival were. There was a rumor before that the Revival were asking to be released from their contracts.
Yeah,
because they still had like another year or two left.
Okay. So then let them retain. Let them retain. They're a good heel team. Let them retain.
Okay, that sounds good. How about you, Dana? Who do you pick for this match?
Who are the people again?
We have Aleister Black and Ricochet versus the Revival, and Bobby Roode and Chad Gable.
Yeah, here's the God. I mean, the way how the momentum has been going, it should be Black and Ricochet. As you said previously, I don't know whether even tag teams. It's just odd.
Yeah.
They really should just have this with the Revival and Roode and Gable. I forgot Roode was still with the company.
Damn.
Sorry.
Jesus God is eyes.
Harsh. Oh.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. All right. So judging by the momentum and that they do work well together, even though I don't know why they're together, I would say Black and Ricochet. However, I will say the people who need it more are Roode and Gable, for the simple fact that I didn't know that they were still together. And the Revival is just, they need to go to someone else. But yeah, Black and Ricochet, just because.
I was never a fan of Revival, even before they joined the WWE. Yeah, it just didn't do it for me. Something about it. And then they were always getting hurt. You know, at least one of them was always getting hurt. And it just didn't, I don't know, something about it just never really set well with me. And I was like, I'm not into it. So whatever. But I know they have a big following and a lot of people want them to go have dream matches elsewhere. All right, that's fine.
There's really no reason for them to even be there to begin with. And the way how they just been classified, that whole nerd thing, I never got over that. So they never really was anything to me. So they don't really need to win anything. So yeah, Ricochet, I guess, just because it makes no sense for them to even be together. So I'm guessing that they're going to win the belts anyway.
Yeah. So I'll give my pick next, and I'm actually going to go against the grain and side 100% with Dana. I think Aleister Black and Ricochet are going to win this match. Honestly, when they had Aleister Black and Ricochet in the tag match on Raw this week against the Revival, I figured at that point, oh yeah, they're going to beat the Revival, because again, even though we can't fully believe all that we hear about what happens in WWE, I do believe that Vince feels that the roster right now is stale. You need to have superstars, and let's face it, Ricochet and Aleister Black are superstars. And from the tag division alone, yeah, it would make sense for them to beat these guys and win the titles in a convincingly fashion. So I think Vince is bold enough to say, okay, let's just go ahead and let's just go full steam ahead and have these guys win. Because, I mean, it could end in a disqualification, and that will lead to maybe a rematch at WrestleMania. But I feel like just go ahead and give these guys the belts if you're going to do that. Because you've already said that they're superstars. They obviously are of a higher caliber than the rest of the tag teams on Raw. So I feel just go ahead and just pull the trigger and have them win.
Man, I mean, even that whole thing, hearing that's a speech that he gave to everybody about this, that's a smack in the face to everyone else.
Oh yeah,
because like, hey, we're here. We just give us a shot. We need to do that. Nah, we're just gonna call up these NXT guys and give them the massive push. And the titles, oh man, I want my release. I'm not even in the company, and I want my release. Well, because that's a smack. Because yeah, we want a tag team division. Everybody wants that. We want a massive tag team division. Tag team is fun, but with teams that know that they're a tag team that work well. These are two solo wrestlers, singles wrestlers that are being put together for no damn reason, which looked like it was a promo just to show them off. And no, now they're a legit team. No, you have plenty of legit teams. Call up the War Raiders. Have them do this. Come on, now, that would be awesome. I want to see this dude do his big cartwheel on the side. Pull something like that. There's no reason for this.
Oh no, I agree. I agree 100% with what you're saying. And one thing I will add is if Ricochet and Aleister Black don't win, because I know that there's already spoilers for the NXT. For the NXT tournament that's going on now, the Dusty Rhodes tournament. So they are obviously still in that tournament, and they are going to be, I believe, wrestling for against War Raiders at they might be wrestling against them.
Yeah, they're doing double duty on everything. So too much. This is too much.
So based on that, maybe they may not need to have those tag titles if they are still going to be using them in NXT to some degree. But I just feel like, if that speech was true about Vince saying there's not enough star power, then you obviously you might as well go ahead and pull the trigger and give these guys the belts. Plus, I will also add that on Raw they also had the other team that they called up on NXT, Heavy Machinery, run through 3 teams on Raw as well. So that shows to me how much of a joke the Raw tag division is already. So, I definitely think if you're going to have them win it, just go ahead and just do it, as opposed to having them take a loss. But we'll see what happens.
That's right. I forgot about Heavy Machinery.
Yeah. So, we'll see what happens. But, Ricky, who was your pick for this match?
Flat out, I think Revival retains it. They're the only real tag team in this match. And you mentioned Heavy Machinery. I think that they're the ones that are being groomed to take the belts off of Revival. But that'll come at a later time.
Okay.
So
that's good.
Just how I see it.
Yeah. That's totally fine with me. Listen, as we said before, Ricochet and Aleister Black shouldn't be a tag team. Obviously, they have some type of plans for them as a team. I'm assuming, but we'll see. But I like that pick, so. We'll see what happens.
Oh, man, it would be great if they just like, you know what? We did our thing. Shake your hands. All right, I wish you luck. I wish you good luck. And one of them just goes to SmackDown. Because right now they're just floaters. They're just floating around. So I was like, all right, if you're going to do that. Or hell, remember, NXT is a brand now. They can just go right back to NXT.
Oh, yeah. Well, they are. I mean, I do believe they are going to end up having a match at TakeOver against.
Which is, I don't know if you noticed this. At least I noticed this when they were on SmackDown. People were chanting NXT when they come out.
Yeah, I did notice
and just
that.
going to and I'm like, man, it's interesting because like, all right, so this brand, NXT brand, is more over than SmackDown because I don't ever remember anyone chanting SmackDown when SmackDown guys invaded Raw and did that whole thing. SmackDown, no, or Raw, never. Remember when they did that invasion angle?
Yeah,
for Survivor, no one gives a shit, but NXT, it's different.
Yeah,
people are feeling it.
No one's invested in the brands other than NXT, for exactly the points that you made. I mean, you'll get this stuff where like you'd have Shane McMahon or Stephanie McMahon talking about the other brand as the enemy, and that the Raw crowd would boo if they're talking about SmackDown. The SmackDown crowd would boo if they're talking about Raw. But ultimately, the fans really don't give a shit. It would just really come down to whatever show's going on at the time. But NXT, people are invested in that, and they'll chant it, like you said. So
it's funny because it's like NXT is WWE's version of an indie promotion. It's like, all right, we're gonna grab all the best indie guys that you like and squish them all together on this one side piece here. So hey, we have them. If you want to watch it, just watch it on this. Here, pay on the network, and you can watch all your favorite indie guys all battle it out. But the downfall to that is that they're doing some amazing matches, and their pay-per-view, the takeover, overshadowing the main pay-per-views that air the next day. And I don't think Vince was ready for that. He didn't think that was going to happen. He was like, oh, I gave this to Triple H to give him something to do and stop messing with my shows. And now he's got a better product. People are chanting NXT, the brand. You know,
yeah.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. Well, we'll see what happens. I will admit, I'm looking forward to this match because I'm curious to know which direction they're going to take this. So we'll see. But let's move on from one tag match to another. And by far, this is the match that Adam, he absolutely couldn't stop talking about. I know this is the match he cannot wait to see what happens. We have the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, defending the WWE SmackDown tag titles against the Miz and Shane McMahon with the Miz's father ringside. So I would like to go first on this one. I think it is very obvious that the Miz and Shane will not win this match because there obviously is a feud coming, I believe, between the Miz and Shane. I don't really know who's going to be considered the heel in this thing. Maybe it's going to be the Miz that does a heel turn or Shane, whatever. I don't really care about, I like the Miz. I like his TV show. Congrats on, the fact that Maurice is pregnant. That's great. Everything is great. But I do not.
What, they're having another baby?
Oh yeah. They announced it that she's expecting a second baby. So I'm happy for the Miz, all his success, but I don't give a damn about the Miz versus Shane. And I may have a different story after I go to WrestleMania and we see this match happen. But yeah, the Usos are going to win because once again they have already planted the seeds that the Hardys now have to have an issue with Jimmy and Jay. So that is going to be a match that definitely happens at WrestleMania. I feel like if they add other teams to it, that's fine. But the feud is between those two teams. So I say Jimmy and Jay will retain. I'll go to you next, Ricky. Who is your pick for this match?
I agree with your assessment pretty much. I see the Usos retaining this and them starting the Miz versus Shane feud, which they've been planting ever since Crown Jewel for some reason. So the only question is who's going to be the heel in that, because it seems like they're really leaning towards giving Miz a babyface run.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see where they go with that. But that team's getting split up. Usos will retain, and I think they'll defend against the Hardys at Mania.
Yes, sounds good. So how about you, Dana? Who was your pick for this match?
First of all, y'all mean. Y'all just mean for no reason. The whole Shane and Miz thing is kind of corny, but at the same time, it's a little cute and endearing. It's kind of like when you have like your grandpa and he wants to be hip and he wants to belong and he's reliving his good old days. That's what Shane is. So
yeah, again, I don't think they're going for that. I don't think they would like to hear that comparison.
What's happening? But I like everything that the Usos are doing, but they are the kind of tag team champs that I feel that you forget are tag team champs. So as much as I don't want the Miz and Shane to win, I need there to be a storyline. And remember how we kept saying we're going to get the Miz and Shane, versus fighting each other. I need that to happen. And in order for me, I feel for that to happen and to be impactful, I need for them to win. And then something happens during WrestleMania. And then the day after WrestleMania, they break up and they lose. Kind of like what the Shield did. Just get it done and over with. Because I don't really see the Usos breaking up anytime soon.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen, that's a great explanation. It certainly can go that way also. So we have to see. But yeah, that's good. So how about you, Adam? Who was your pick?
Oh man, I don't see Oh man, I don't know why I feel like Mrs. Dad is gonna have something to do with this. Something is gonna happen. They just keep mentioning him over and over again. Daddy's here, Daddy's here. Oh, Daddy's here. And I know Daddy's a character. In real life, he's a character. And I wonder if he's going to play a part in it. Because remember, it's all about, Daddy, you proud of me? Daddy, you proud of me? And he's going to mess something up. Maybe he's going to want to come to ringside as a cheerleader type of thing. Like they're going to let him jump the guardrail and just like cheer him on. And he's going to interfere in some way. Maybe get up on the ropes and the rest like, hey, what are you doing? And it's going to cause a problem. Or maybe he's going to trip up his son, give him a low blow and stuff. He's like, cuz I am not proud of you, you son of a bitch. I never wanted you. You're not even my son. I just raised you. Your mama was a whore. She cheated on me with the guy from next door. I don't know. I'm putting a weird accent for him. I don't know.
I'm dying at the idea of him just randomly clotheslining Miz in the middle of the ring and staring down at him. What the hell is this? What is going on? Oh man, that's great.
On the TV show, he's not proud of him because they overlap storylines.
Yep. Yeah. He and the Miz did mention that in when he mentioned the whole promo with Shane about, oh yeah, my dad. This is the first time he was proud of me when I won those tag titles. So yeah, you're 100% right about that.
Please, Daddy's proud when you start handing him over that money that you're making. Come on now. Come on now. Stop it. Making millions as a wrestler. Come on. Don't tell me you're not hooking up Daddy with a house and shit. Everybody would do that with their family. That's why it's unbelievable. It's just an unbelievable story. And remember, he popped up there on WrestleMania when he won the title. He was there.
Yeah.
So again, bullshit. Bullshit.
It's a work.
It's all a work.
Well, remember back in the old days during the Attitude Era, Maurice would be pregnant with his kid, the dad's kid, and then that would lead into a match.
That's true.
So it's not bad as it could.
I want it to end already. At least I want the whole thing with Shane. I was happy when Shane came back. I'm like, this is great, but I don't want him in this capacity. I just want him to just have some matches here and there, and be entertaining and do those type of things. And that's how they had him for a while. Remember, he was just the manager or the owner, and every once in a while he get into little spats. They never really went anywhere with him and Daniel Bryan when he was always putting Daniel Bryan down.
Yep. Yeah, they
they sort of just squashed that whole thing. I'm like, I thought this was going to lead up to a match, and I think the reason why it squashed is because they decided to make Daniel Bryan a heel. But
see, can't they revisit that later if they do have Miz become a babyface and he beats the Shane or whatever? Then
they could, but I don't want to see it now. I'm all Shaned out. That's it. I'm drained. This is it. I've seen enough of the Shane O'Mac. That's it. Yep. I give him credit for him doing Shooting Stars and all that, but his setup takes way too long, which ruins the mystique of it being a believable move. Keep coming away excuses. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Hulk Hogan coming back either, laying down. Having people lay down for him to get him over. Same thing here. When you have, when I saw him at the last pay-per-view, the Elimination Chamber, and he got up on the top in the corner, and he was there pausing, and it looked like he was second guessing. Like, you know what? I don't need to do this shit anymore. He was there. It felt like forever. I was like, you know what? This is too long. And then even before that, the last one, when he went to do the Shooting Star, too long. Or when he does the Coast to Coast, too long. And it's not that it's that he's old. It's that he's preparing himself and thinking about it, and it's setting up. And that's not how those moves need to be done. They need to be done in a way of like, I just kicked your ass. I'm going to climb up here, springboard, and I'm just going to jump. When Ron Van Dam did the Coast to Coast, he did that shit fast. Bill Alfonso went, grabbed the chair, put it in front of the other guy's face. RVD would look at the fans like, wait, am I going to do this? And we're like, yeah, he's damn right I am. And he would just hop up on the top and then jump. That's how you have to do those type of moves. If your buddy sets up another guy on a table on the outside, you get on the top turnbuckle, you don't waste time. That stalling takes people out of the moment because you're like, well, I would have had enough time to get up and move out the way. You know, I could roll over. I could see that he's going to set up to do something big. He's taking too long. I'm moving out of the way.
Every time that Shane does it, I wonder if it's going to be the time that he finally kills him. You know, like,
and I'm sure he's waiting for that time. I'm sure that's the plan here.
Like he misses it by just a bit each time, and like further and further and further, and he keeps hitting the back of his head. You know, like he's got to stop.
The worst and the most dangerous out of all those is that shooting star, because that could go horribly wrong really quick. And we saw it almost happen with Brock many years ago against Kurt Angle. Holy moly, I thought he broke his neck. I was like, the dude just landed on his neck. This is crazy.
Lucky for Brock, he doesn't have a neck. It's all muscle.
There you go. It's all muscle. That's true. It's all muscle. So he survived. But man, I just don't want to see it anymore. I've never been a fan of Miz. He's a great worker. He's a great talker. I get it from a business side. He's great. But for me, I never really found him entertaining in the ring. But Shane, I definitely don't want him in that capacity. This is not his spot. With all the talent that they have in the back, twiddling their thumbs, they're like, why? Why is he doing this? Why is he collecting 2 checks? Did you hear this? He has 2 checks. He has a check for being one of the execs doing stuff in the back, and he has a performer check.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't so does Triple H.
Yeah, but Triple H is Triple H, who's a wrestler. You know what I mean? He's a legit wrestler.
But you could argue that
I will not argue.
He was in his 20s, so he's a wrestler as well. Remember, his matches used to be amazing.
They were not. It was amazing to see him take bumps. He was Mikey Whipwreck. You know what I mean? He was Spike Dudley. He was taking ass whoopings. That was amazing. It was amazing to see the boss's kid take a whooping. Oh, I can't get my hands on Vince. Well, I'm gonna beat your boy's ass. Remember, that was the whole thing. That was fun. It's not fun anymore. He's an older guy with gray hair. His kids are grown and talking back to him in the crowd and stuff. No, this is not fun.
You can't tell. I don't know.
I just found out recently, and I'm surprised I didn't know this, that what's his name? Mick Foley's kid is part of creative also. I did not know that.
Yeah, and remember they're bringing back Dana's creative. Remember the Warrior's wife? She is creative.
Yeah. For the women's division, I heard.
They made that part of a storyline when Mick Foley was the GM. You know, I think like Triple H alluded to Mick Foley's son. You know, it's like, oh, it would, you know, you wouldn't want anything to happen to your son.
Yeah, he spit that out, and I couldn't understand. I remember, I know exactly when you're talking about that, and I just was like, was it Dougie? Was it Doug, or was his son's name? Dibby? Something like that. It's some fucking name.
Like the Dewey.
Dewey. Maybe it's Dewey.
Yeah.
Dewey. Yeah, there we go. And I'm like, what does Dewey have to do with this? You know, I just send it and just poof, there you go.
Yeah. Terrible.
And that's why we don't see any more Mick Foley, because it shows favoritism to right in his dad. What if my dad came out? No, your dad's not going to. All right, whatever. You know, we need a new GM. What if my dad? Nope. Okay, we got Baron Corbin. Yeah. Isn't he a full-timer? It doesn't matter. Okay. Doesn't matter. My dad could. Nope.
He said, hell no.
Right. And that's the other thing with Baron Corbin. It's another guy. I just don't get it. He's still dressed up like a GM. What's going on with that? He's not the GM. Is this his gimmick? It just doesn't work.
The way how they did it, I don't think that they allowed for that kind of transition so that people could realize he's now a wrestler. And then when that happened, they just didn't care anymore because we don't care about Baron Corbin. So that's why. So he just stays in dressed up as a GM.
Yeah. So I know that Adam is a huge Baron Corbin fan.
I like that. I actually did like his old gimmick. I liked it when he was a lone wolf. You know, I liked his move, Deep Six, and all that. I was like, oh, this is good. He's going to be entertaining. But when they put him in this role, it's not. It very much feels like, hey, we had a bunch of stuff written for Kane, but now, you know, he's a mayor and all. So can we give this to somebody else? Who wants to do this? Oh, you want to do this? Shave your head. We need to look more like him. I can do that. All right, there we go. Done.
When I see Baron Corbin, I have to fight off the urge to ask him to bring some bread to my table.
Oh, yeah. Well, he works at the Olive Garden.
Yeah, maybe he's ending his. Maybe he's coming off his shift. That's why he doesn't change. He just comes to the ring in his attire, waiter attire. What were you gonna say, Rich?
I'm just going to give you a very quick warning, Ricky. Be aware that you did see him at the WrestleMania we went to in Dallas, and he was very nice. So you better hope he don't listen to this podcast, because if he sees you at WrestleMania, then he may not be so nice this time.
This is all very true. I'm gonna. I take back what I said. Baron, you're the best.
Yes, absolutely. We will get into him soon. Let's move on to another tag match, which and I do have something to say about this, because I did see that there was a rumor out. I don't know if that rumor is accurate, but we'll get into that. We of course have the WWE Women's Tag Team titles, which I forgot existed after Bayley and Sasha won, because they just been talking about, we're going to defend these titles, and now we finally have a title defense. So they're defending the titles against Nia Jax and Tamina tomorrow night. Now, I will say this, because I'll go first. I know back in the day when we did this show, I know Dana was happy to see Tamina back. She says, I want them to do something with Tamina. So now that they're doing something with Tamina, this is good. She actually has a match on the card. She'll get some attention. But honestly, right now, I feel like Bayley and Sasha, they obviously are doing big things with them, because they haven't been doing anything with them for the last couple of years, I would say. So I feel like, Sasha and Bayley are going to definitely win. Now, obviously, it could be something where Nia Jax to me to win, and then there's another rematch immediately, and then they lose the titles. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Bayley and Sasha will win, because there was a rumor that I saw, and again, this is not 100% confirmed because it's not official yet, but there was a rumor that Sasha and Bayley are supposed to defend those titles at WrestleMania against Trish Stratus and Lita.
No.
Now, if that match happens, obviously we know Trish Stratus and Lita are not staying around, so that would be a wasted match, in my opinion. But that's what I did see, so I wanted to mention that. But yeah, Sasha and Bayley, they're going to retain. So let's go to you next, Dana. Who do you think is going to win this match?
I am actually tired of Sasha and Bayley, and I don't know why. I'm just so tired of them. It's like the same. No wowing. It's the same people that we see over and over again, and now they're tag team, and it's like I don't care. With this whole thing, I would rather see Tamina, because she gets to do something, and she's not Sasha nor Bayley. So yeah, something.
I personally think that if they wanted to, when they gave the belts to Sasha and Bayley, I think if you wanted to make it meaningful, you should have had them win these titles at WrestleMania. Yes. Because they won it at I think Elimination Chamber. It's like, okay, whatever. Elimination Chamber was a
throwaway.
Okay. Say what?
It's a throwaway pay-per-view.
Yeah. So
then throwaway.
Oh yeah, so I think if you wanted it to be more meaningful, I would have just had them win these titles, because what they could have done is at that pay-per-view you could have had Nia Jax and Tamina win, and then you have Bayley and Sasha chase them all the way up until WrestleMania, and then get the titles. I think that would have been a better, more meaningful thing. But whatever. So yeah, I agree with you. I am tired of them also. So hopefully they have other plans of other people that are going to take these titles off of them, but we'll have to wait and see how that actually plays out. But yeah, I'm gonna go to you next, Ricky. Who was your pick for this match?
So I think Sasha and Bayley are gonna retain it, and I did hear about that rumor of that kind of dream match of them against Trish and Lita. We don't know if that is where they'll go with that. But I have also heard that there were plans for Sasha and Bayley to defend the belts on the NXT brand.
Yes.
And so if that's going to happen, they need to hold on to it. And I think it would also do a disservice to them as credible, champions and ambassadors for the for the division, to have them just immediately drop it to Nia and Tamina like that. I do think that they're going to want to give Nia and Tamina these belts at some point down the line. I don't think that the time for that is now. To kind of go back in the whole thing of them wasting it on Elimination Chamber, I agree. They should have had it set up in a tournament fashion, and had the finals of that tournament take place at WrestleMania, and where you can crown the new champions there.
Yep.
But
I agree.
Yeah. So, but I think that it just makes the most sense for now to keep the belts on Sasha and Bayley, Dana's favorite tag team in the world.
I hate you all. I hate you all. Ew. And
good.
Also, Tamina's not a good opponent either. What really does she do? I mean, she takes all day to get in the ring. She takes all day to move around the ring. Just saying.
Damn, hater Raiders Thursday.
And let me just add, if you are a millennial and you are not related to The Rock, then Vince has no faith in you.
Yeah. Hey, just yeah. I agree with that. I agree.
Wait, aren't they both related to The Rock?
No, the other one isn't she Tamina Superfly Snooker's daughter?
Yeah, she is.
And wait, Superfly's not Samoan.
No, but Tamina's part of the family somehow. I think it I forget exactly how. It might be like an in-law thing or something.
Oh.
She's linked to the family in some way, but obviously with Nia, it's that she's a cousin of The Rock. But Tamina, they're part of that. They're part of that family somehow. Like she's part of that family somehow. But,
yeah.
I forget exactly what it is.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
how about you, Adam? Who is your pick for this match?
It's got to be Bayley and Sasha. I mean, they want to keep these people. That's the whole thing. I mean, Sasha, she's ready to go. Her husband got fired a while ago, and
really?
There's only so much. Remember, he's the costume designer, and he got fired for some shit. So,
with Rhonda or something?
Or the husband?
Yeah, wasn't it a husband?
It was some weird issue, but they let him go. And I know that didn't set over well with her. She's been there a long time. She's done a lot. And that's why they did this title belt thing, because it was like, all right, there's only so many times they can keep going for the same title. So they did this. So I don't see them taking it off of them. Not now. Maybe later on, but you have to build a legacy with these belts. You can't have them changing hands at every pay-per-view. So you got to, at least until after WrestleMania, and if we're going to have a dream match, which is pretty much a squash match, because no one cares. No one wants to see two people that aren't consistent wrestlers come back for this. We don't want to see that.
Yeah.
No one wanted to see that when they filled up the women's Royal Rumble. We knew, they weren't going to win. So what's the point? It's filler. And I guess they felt that they could get away with it when they would do that with other wrestlers, when they did it with the Royal Rumble, with the male one. But some of them were still relevant. I remember when they brought back Goldust that way. He was still relevant. I was like, oh, wow, he looked great. He could still go. But when you have some of these other people like Lita and stuff, come on now. They're not. This is not for them anymore. Their time has come and gone.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Yeah, definitely, without question. All right, so we have a couple other matches to talk about. Well, actually, there's only like I think 4 other matches. So let's move on to the next one. And we're going to stay with the SmackDown. Let's go back to SmackDown. We have the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship match. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. Asuka defending the title against Mandy Rose. Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to go to you first, Dana. Who do you think is going to win this match?
Who's Mandy Rose? I'm sorry. Ew. I mean, yay. No. Asuka. Asuka. Mandy hasn't even done anything that's like stand out to me. She looks like everyone else who's just blonde in wrestling. Sorry, who's not Charlotte. But no, Asuka is going to win. Clearly, hopefully, yeah, Asuka.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go next. Yeah, I agree 100%. Asuka wins. I still feel a little salty about them having her lose to Mandy Rose on SmackDown a couple weeks ago, because I felt like Asuka hadn't been on TV for a while. You have her come back, and as soon as she comes back, yeah, you take a loss against Mandy Rose. Obviously, there's a distraction involved in that match, but I don't like how they use an Asuka, because she should just be dominating some of the wrestlers that she faces. Now, one thing I will add real quick before I go to Ricky and Adam for their picks is that I do know, once again, there has been rumors of Asuka defending this title against Adam's new favorite wrestler, at SummerSlam. I better say
please,
sorry, WrestleMania.
No.
Yes.
You can't even do a kick up. Come on now.
No, Lacey Evans, because
no.
Lacey Evans, and if you notice, when they had that match against Asuka and Mandy Rose on SmackDown, Lacey Evans came out there once again for that little interruption where she's showing off her outfit or whatever. So that is the rumor of that match happening. Obviously they're doing something with her because she hasn't had a match yet on the main roster that I haven't seen yet.
See, I would a match between Mandy Rose and Lacey. That makes more sense to me. Two no good, nobody people in that match. As opposed to keep disrespect. Remember when Asuka used to be someone?
Yeah.
What
about me? What about Asuka? That they should give her that.
They should. But now they have her wrestling Mandy Rose. That's yeah, no.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I've said it on this show before, and I'll say it again. Vince has a type.
He does.
Yep.
Definitely
exactly.
does.
Lacey Evans. There you go. So Asuka will win at Fastlane, but we'll see what happens at WrestleMania.
Who knows? Maybe it's a type, or maybe it's more than just a type. It's like I need you close to me.
Whoa.
Hey, he's done it once before. Maybe more than one.
Ruthless aggression.
Yeah. His wife, she's busy working in the White House doing stuff, so she's not around,
Scandal free?
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think Asuka will retain.
Okay, there you go. That's Ricky's pick. So how about you, Adam?
Come on, it's not going to be Asuka. I think they're done with it. I think they're gonna now have this is their platform. It's like a Rey Mysterio type of thing. It's like, all right, we got you over. Don't worry, you're in the Hall of Fame for what you did at NXT. You're secure, but we need to get some of these other people over. Just like what she did with Carmella. It's the same thing. She's gonna do the lay down for this, and that's it. This is the way to get Rose bumped up. Because the only reason why anybody's going to watch is because of Asuka. So it's like, all right, so who is she going against? And that's why we're seeing this. So
you see what you just said. I don't completely disagree. However, I think what you said is exactly what's going to happen at WrestleMania if she is facing Lacey Evans. Because I just keep hearing them talking about, man, Vince loves Lacey Evans. If you look at the background.
And this Lacey Evans hasn't done anything to prove that she deserves any kind of title shot or anything. So I don't see it. You can see it maybe for the future.
But here's the thing. The credentials that Vince loves. Blonde, but also a Marine. So I think that yes, they will definitely.
Yeah, well they're not portraying her that way. They're putting her like a 1940s pinup girl walking up and down the ramp. Come on now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing to also consider is that Lacey hasn't done anything to merit being, the SmackDown Women's Champion or whatever. But Vince McMahon doesn't give a crap about what anyone's done beforehand. You look at the history of like Roman Reigns. What did he do in NXT? Nothing. And he comes up and he's the top guy on the main roster. Alexa Bliss didn't do anything in NXT other than manage Buddy Murphy and Wesley Blake. She comes to the main roster, wins all the belts.
But with Roman Reigns, he came up with the Shield. He was just the muscle for the Shield. So at least he was in the ring. She's not doing anything but just going up and down the ramp.
And you will not disrespect Bliss. She has personality.
Oh, I love. No, don't get me wrong. I love what she's done ever since getting called up. I was actually really concerned when she got the call and thought that she would kind of get lost in the shuffle. She's been terrific as a heel and all that stuff. It's just the point I'm making is that even though some of these wrestlers haven't really accomplished much before getting the call, once they get the call, Vince likes you. You're getting that push. Whether it's because you have the look that he likes or whatever.
Say that to Asuka.
And one other thing I will add real quickly is that a lot of us are assuming that as far as WrestleMania is concerned, every match is going to go the way that the fans want it to go. Where obviously Becky Lynch will probably win the title. Yep. And we're going to probably see, if Kofi wins, great, or Face wins, great. That's going to happen. Yeah, we kind of have a feeling that a lot of these matches are going to go our way, but there will be some matches where you're going to be mad with the result. So if Lacey Evans faces Asuka, I don't think it's out of the question to think Lacey Evans could beat Asuka, and then they will just have them feud back and forth. But because I keep hearing that they have high pushes and hopes for Lacey Evans, so I haven't seen her wrestle yet on the main roster, so I don't know what the hell they're going to do with that character.
She didn't do much in NXT, so it's not like, wow, she was making waves over there, and then she came up. That's sad. It's just sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah, it is sad, but it happens. But as for Fastlane, yeah, Asuka definitely will win that match. I have no doubt about that.
Nikki should be in that spot.
Trina,
she should be doing these type of matches.
Yeah. Or Trina, yeah. Remember her? She used to exist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do remember her. Yeah, I agree. Oh, well.
Who?
Trinity. Yeah, AKA
Naomi.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought that might have been who you're alluding to, but
yeah, I still
feel the glow.
Feel the glow.
Yeah, I don't think Vince feels the glow anymore. So
what they should bring up also Dakota Kai. She's fun. She's entertaining. She could do a lot.
I thought that she was injured right now.
Oh, she is.
Yeah. As to why she hasn't been on NXT for a while because of that injury.
Remember the game? They have high hopes for her. They put her in that future pack. Remember the future star pack? She was linked in there.
Oh yeah,
she's up there with Ricochet and stuff. Yeah.
I did notice that.
So did Mike Kanellis. So.
Oh yeah, Mike Kanellis. They have a lot of high hopes for him. They have a lot of high hopes.
Lars Sullivan in that too.
No, not in that pack. He's already in the. Lars is gone. Who knows what's gonna happen with Lars, man? That has to be the biggest disappointment right now with the whole Lars thing, because this is so sad.
Not sad.
It is sad.
You can rest easy knowing that he is now part of the Church of Scientology. So at least I guess he's making some positive.
No, really?
Yeah, he tweeted that out recently.
So what's the story with him in wrestling? Is he done with it, or?
Well, I mean, he's still. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's not done with WWE. He'll be there at some point. I mean, I don't know what their plans are for him. We'll have to wait and see about that. But to be determined, I guess you could say.
All right.
So we'll see.
What's the next one on this one? We already know the whole Oscar thing, but good matches. Give me some good ones. Meat and potatoes.
Okay, well, before we get to the good ones, let's get to once again another match where I'm not happy with what they are doing with this match, and you may be surprised. This may be an interesting debate. We have Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch.
Yay!
Now, obviously, if Lynch wins the stipulation, she will be added to the WWE Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania 35. So let me go ahead first and say that stipulation, in my mind, guarantees that she's going to win the match. That's why I don't like when they announce the stipulations like this. And then of course, there's no punishment whatsoever for Charlotte. Charlotte is in the match no matter what. So that's a whole bunch of BS on their part to make sure that we get a triple threat, which is fine with me, but it's just ridiculous. Only thing I will say, and then I'll go to you guys. While I love the back and forth between Becky Lynch and Ronda with Twitter, that's great, everything. I have to say the way they have handled this storyline has been complete garbage. Because you look at the Becky Lynch supposedly selling an injury, but yet she's still able to hobble to the ring. She's still able to do the disarmor on Charlotte. I don't understand this whole injury shit that they got with her.
And then, man, you don't need to explain it. You don't need to understand that she's the man. It defies logic.
But you know who the man is, though.
Who is the man?
It's Steve Austin. She is basically saying she's Steve Austin. And that she's pulling everything that Steve Austin can do. He's the man. That's who she's referring to. Because if you see the man in the business, the real man, if we go that deep, is Vince McMahon. She's not him. She's not portraying him. She's portraying Steve Austin. That's the man.
But you know what you just said right there. When you say that you're the man, we have heard multiple people say that in the as recent as this week when Triple H had the promo against Batista. He said, "I'm the man."
He meant that as the man. He was literally the man. Mm-hmm. Fine. She.
That's what I'm saying. That's it. Her gimmick is pretty much just a follow-up to Steve Austin. She's doing. Remember when Steve Austin was hurt and he was still coming down to the ring and giving people stunners, but he couldn't really wrestle? It's the same thing. You know, the whole thing with the back and forth with management. Yeah, same thing. Her with the head nodding and be real tough. And it's the same thing.
The whole thing with her calling herself I'm sorry, Rich, go ahead.
Oh no, and the stuff about her getting arrested, all of that is definitely
it's all Steve Austin.
That's all Austin. That's all Austin there. But her calling herself the man is really a throwback to Ric Flair saying to be the man, you have to beat the man. And,
but she's been beat. She got beat at the pay-per-view. Remember, clean from Asuka. Asuka pinned her at the Rumble.
I mean, sure, but if you'll recall, she was feuding with Charlotte, and that's her father's saying. So it was kind of a way to taunt Charlotte, like, well, I'm the man, that kind of thing. So I think that's where that all comes from.
I can see that too, but she didn't have the title, and then she lost clean. That was the other thing. When she lost clean to Asuka, and then she wins a Rumble, and then she shows up at Raw and says, "Yeah, you saw what I did the Rumble." Should have had Ronda just say, "Yeah, I saw you freaking get pinned. I saw you. I saw you lose. What are you talking about? No, come on now. It doesn't work for me. That whole thing does not work for me."
Oh yeah, so my pick, I'll win. Obviously, because we have to get that triple threat main event between her, Charlotte, and Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. So yeah, that's going to happen. Dana, who was your pick for this match?
The man.
The man.
Happy Snows Women's Day to all the men. The man.
Yes. So how about you, Ricky? Who was your pick?
My pick is Becky Lynch by disqualification after Ronda Rousey comes and interferes.
So here's the question: is Ronda Rousey coming to beat up Charlotte, or why would she interfere in this match?
She'll interfere to come after Becky, and then she'll attack Charlotte also afterwards. But she'll attack Becky first. That'll end the match. That'll get Becky in there. Charlotte will probably be upset because Charlotte wants to get Becky out of this match, and then Ronda will come after Becky also. Show will end with Ronda, on standing tall, even though she's not on the card, because that's going to be your WrestleMania main event right there. So I think Becky will win, but it'll be by DQ because they don't want it to have it being like a 100% convincing victory over Charlotte. The whole thing is that you're going to have this triple threat, and you want to have a little doubt in the outcome that any one of these three women can win, and that's the narrative they're going to play.
Yep.
Although I think the majority of people know, no way in hell Ronda will win now.
At WrestleMania, I don't know that that's a given.
Yeah, no, from what we hear, I mean, they don't even know. WWE don't know the status of what she's going to do after Mania, but she's her contract extends for one show after WrestleMania and ends, right? So is she taking time off to reproduce, or is she going to stick around? Who knows?
She may just take a break and then come back at SummerSlam or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is a great explanation. If you don't, because I said before, you're not going to have Becky Lynch have a strong victory 2 pay-per-views in a row. So yeah, if it ends in disqualification, that totally makes sense for this particular pay-per-view. And then you get to the clean finish, even though I don't think she'll pin Ronda at WrestleMania, but that's another conversation for another time. We'll see. How about you, Adam? Who was your pick?
Man. Charlotte. Let's throw Charlotte. Let's get her to win.
Okay. So Becky not gonna have a match, or she have to find another way.
They're gonna have to play it out. They're gonna have to play something else out for her. I'm just not into it. I just don't see it. I don't see any of this. Like, if it was for me, it's no. I don't. I'm gonna go with Charlotte with this one. I think Charlotte's still a bigger name, bigger draw, and she's just better in the ring. Becky's just not. I never put Becky in that status with them when the other ones all got bumped up. I don't know why. Why. But
I want to follow up that I can see them kind of like, because Vince loves to put heat on the fans. And that's one way to do it, is to have like Charlotte win in screwy fashion and be like, Becky Lynch got screwed. How could they do this, and blah blah blah. But the follow up is, how would they shoehorn Becky Lynch back into the triple threat afterwards?
I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed that if they want the match, remember that was the whole thing with Ronda. Ronda was like, "Hey, I want this match. I want to have this match for her, or else I walk." So I think it's sort of like forced because they want her to stick around, so they can just say that. All right, well, she wants it regardless. So
I don't think it's forced, because remember, she's doing all those videos about wanting to get back with Becky and kill her.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
With the raccoon eyes and the people doing the makeup and the hair. So yeah.
So yeah, that triple threat is definitely happening. I mean, one way or another. We'll see what happens tomorrow night with Charlotte and Becky. 2 final matches to talk about here tonight. We're going, and obviously, I'm saving the match that I think obviously everybody cares about the most. Pun intended. I'll save that for last. But we'll go to the next match. We have the WWE Championship match. Daniel Bryan defending the title against Kevin Owens. So I would like to go first, and I would like to say that Daniel Bryan has had an excellent run as the heel on SmackDown, which is why his storyline with that belt is not ending until WrestleMania. So I think that he'll win this match, and it may be by disqualification, because we do know that Kofi Kingston will be watching the match, and New Day will probably be close to the action. If they're not at ringside watching, they're going to be close enough to the action. And I could see something happening where somebody gets involved, because again, Rowan is Daniel Bryan's, bodyguard, so to speak. So I could see him getting involved in this to some extent. But they're going to do as much as they can to make sure that Kevin Owens gets screwed out of the victory. And at WrestleMania, which I think could become a triple threat with Kofi Kingston, or it could become because Mustafa Ali also has unfinished business with Daniel Bryan. So Bryan retains.
Oh, you're cutting out. You're cutting out, Rich.
I'm cutting out.
You're cutting out.
Who wants to go next?
I'll do this quick because I have a feeling this is my theory. What's going to happen? Like you said, I have a feeling there's going to be interference. Daniel Bryan's going to retain, but it's going to lead to a 3-way at WrestleMania, It's going to be Owens, Daniel Bryan, and Kofi Kingston. Kofi's going to win. That's how I see this going out, because it doesn't make sense to change the title hands at a pay-per-view before a Mania. Doesn't make sense.
Okay, so can you hear me clear now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yep.
Okay, so I think that's a great pick. I do have something I want to say, but I want to go first to Dana and Ricky for their picks. So Dana, how about you go next? Who do you think is going to win this match between Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan?
I just think that it's really funny. Y'all think Kofi is going to win when that wasn't even the plan, but okay.
It's a shock. I'm saying it because of the shock. I think that's what people want, and I think they want to give everyone that great WrestleMania feel-good moment. That would be the feel-good moment.
Have you seen WrestleMania in the previous year?
That's what I'm saying. Hey, they came out and said they want to get the people what they want. This is what the people want. I'm just saying from what they said they were going to promise to give the people.
They promise a lot of things.
Exactly. This is why we know if they don't do it, they've been lying. They've been lying to us.
Okay.
I mean, if they
would
really
never
give
do that.
There you go. They
Okay.
have to do it.
Overall, I see Daniel Bryan winning. At most, if there's some weird thing, I see it becoming a tag match with Mustafa Ali and who's the other one? Kofi joining in. So
wait. At Mania? You're saying in this match?
I don't think at Mania. No.
Wait, so you're saying they're going to change it? Wait, they're turning this match into a tag match before tomorrow? No.
We have matches that the wrestlers didn't even know they were having. I can absolutely see that happening.
That tag match could definitely happen on SmackDown, like the following night or something. Yeah, we'll see about that. But yeah, you said Daniel Bryan is going to win.
He has to.
And I believe I also said that Adam said Daniel Bryan too, right?
Yeah. I said Daniel. It just doesn't make sense for him to lose the belt going into WrestleMania.
Okay,
it's too close.
So I do have a comment to make, but I'm gonna go to Ricky first. So Ricky, who was your pick for this match?
I don't know whether Bryan is going to straight up win or not against Kevin Owens, but I do believe he's absolutely 100% retaining the belt. His character, Bryan's character is on point right now. He's getting pretty good boos from the fans, and it's a compliment to his work that he could be over as a babyface for so many years, and then just flip it on them and be this obnoxious, sanctimonious heel. He freaking has the hemp belt, man. He's bringing fun. That thing's coming to WrestleMania.
I can't wait to order mine. I can't wait.
I
want to end up like Ricky. I want to have that in my background. I'll go back on camera when I get my hemp belt. And I'll put that on the back.
Yes, you got to flaunt that at all times.
There you go.
But Bryan's absolutely retaining. And, Kofi will get involved at Mania. And whether it's a triple threat or Ali gets put in and make it a four-way, there's going to be something like that at Mania. But Bryan will go in to Mania as still your WWE champion.
So I agree 100% with everything that was said about Daniel Bryan winning. I just want to make this comment before we go on to, and this might be another different debate that we can talk about in the future. I don't think that Kofi is going to win at WrestleMania. If he wins at WrestleMania, it's going to be a situation where he loses the next night. Because while I love Kofi Kingston, all that he's done, I feel like they have waited way too long to do something with this guy more meaningful than what he's done with New Day. So for that reason, even if he was to win at WrestleMania for some odd reason, do you honestly believe that Vince McMahon will have this guy as your top talent on that show? You have people like AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, and a whole bunch of other people that could be champion. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, he's going to get it. I think he's going to stay in. They have to change it up. And they have to put him up on top. I don't think he's going to be the main guy, but I think he's going to be one of the main eventers. They can easily keep him up there.
Transitional champion.
Yeah. So that's it. He just has it for a little bit. He's there. And then, whoever takes it off him, takes it off him. But at least he's still relevant and he's still in the conversation.
I will go so far enough to say he will not have that belt longer than Daniel Bryan's reign as the current champion. Hell, he won't even have it as long as Jinder had it. So that's my guess. That's my and I say that honestly because I look at how they have portrayed Kofi Kingston as a character. You would think when you are elevated to the main event scene that this would change his demeanor. He's more serious. He jokes with New Day as if New Day is still an entertainment act where they are there to entertain the fans and do the stuff with the pancakes and all this other stuff. I feel like if you're a world champion, you got to change things up a little bit more and have a little bit more of an edge to you. I don't think they're going to do that. We haven't seen them do anything else. Only exception was when he was Randy Orton all that time ago. I said it was interesting, and then they killed that. Oh, still breaking up?
No, it's
a little better now.
Yeah. It's weird.
Okay, so I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to discuss it in the future. Daniel Bryan is definitely winning tomorrow night. Well, whatever happens at WrestleMania, we'll see. But I don't see Kofi winning the title. And if he does win, this is going to be a very, very short reign. Because I feel like if you were going to give him that belt, you should have did that at Elimination Chamber. Who was there? And if you wanted to have like a shock factor, have him win it then, or so he can lose it. Because I feel like the feud between Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens, that's just getting started. But
so I'll counter with that if you don't have big plans for Kofi as a singles champion, which they don't, you give him the big moment at Mania, so that when he does drop the belt like a month later, it's like, so what? He at least he had that moment. And like, and I get, people saying they don't want that just because you've been with the company for such a long time doesn't mean that you're entitled to, getting the top belt or whatever. But, Kofi's been a pretty good worker for a long time. And it's not just his story, it's the New Day's story. And it's like, what else is there to do with the New Day? And all that's really left is see where they go with one of their guys holding the top belt. So I think that that's a story that they can run with, even if it's something that's kind of happened by accident due to Ali's injury. But I
agree.
I see it as this, is that if you don't have anyone that's absolutely 100% the obvious choice to take it from Bryan, then just run with Kofi for a little bit. And then just give it to someone else after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then just change them up altogether. Maybe they'll do a whole change up with the gimmick, get rid of the SOS song and do something else with it. Because remember that he has ideas. So it was like, hey, what would you like to do if you were champ? How would you like to carry that belt and portray yourself? Well, he says, well, I want to take Becky's shirt, the man. I want to put that shirt on. And all right, you know what? Stick with what we gave you. Next. Yeah, not the man.
So like I say, we'll see what happens at WrestleMania as far as that's concerned. I personally don't believe they're going to have the exact same storyline for two different characters on the same show. Because we already know Becky Lynch is probably going to win at WrestleMania. Although I guess but they're not going to have Becky Lynch in.
No, I don't know. I think that's still up in the air. I don't think that's a given.
They might hold off Becky versus Ronda 1-on-1 for SummerSlam, and the way to do that is have Ronda retain at WrestleMania.
Okay. Yeah.
I think the downfall with the whole women's division is that they had Ronda come in and they didn't have anyone set up for her. We don't have that destroyer. If there's anyone that's really up to that, it's Shayna Baszler. That would be awesome.
Yep.
But exactly. And the timing's not right. But that's the heel that you want. Shayna has lived up to every expectation. Like that's what I think they wanted Ronda to be. She picked it up quick in the ring. She's awesome on the mic. She's believable. She knows how to sell. It's great. She's awesome. I love Shayna. And I think it would be great when she does come up and they do push that whole feud thing, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Unless Ronda leaves, if Ronda does leave, then you let Shayna drop the belt, get called up, and fill that spot for whatever you have, because she can do it all. She's believable. She can kick ass, but she's 10 times better on the mic. So if anything, it's actually a one-up on that. I get Ronda's a draw, but for people outside of the biz, but damn, Shayna's the one.
So we'll see about that. We'll see. To be determined. And finally, the match, which I'm pretty sure is going to be, probably won't be the main event, but it's definitely going to be the biggest attraction. I know that he can't wait to see this match. We have The Shield, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins faces Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Lashley, who last time I checked, that's one of Dana's favorite wrestlers right now. So
Boulder Dash.
I can't for the life of me figure out who's going to win this match. So I'm not going to go first.
Shit.
I'm going to go with you first, Adam. Who do you think?
I'm going to pull your move from last Raw, and this is the part where I just walk out to the parking lot to go catch the train and to leave early to catch the rush. This is bullshit.
It is
bullshit. Yeah.
Wait, it is? Uh-oh. So okay, so
this is why I'm saying, like, I don't know why they even had this pay-per-view, like, leading up to Mania. It's just this is not what people want to pay to see. This is not a pay-per-view match. Come on now, especially not a main event match.
The WCW End of Days match.
So before you get down on the match, Ricky had a very excellent, interesting thought on this particular match. So Ricky, I'm going to go to you next, because we spoke about this before you joined the show. Tell us what you think is going to happen with this match.
Okay, I mean, I don't know how interesting it is, but I believe that the Shield will go over in this match. They're building this as last time with this group, and if Ambrose is leaving, then it's going to be important that they have the Shield go out on top. But also, I think that whether it's at Fastlane or right afterwards, they're going to build towards a WrestleMania match of Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose. I don't know that necessarily
loser leaves match. See,
no. I think it could be a respectable thing where it's just kind of like, where Ambrose is just testing Reigns, like, we need to have a fight at WrestleMania. I need to see if you're still the big dog or something like that. And then you have, he'll go out on his back and they'll have their little warm moment or whatever.
This is what I'm saying. Like, why did they even advertise and announce that Dean is leaving? If they would have just not said anything, this would have been great for what you just said, because then it could have been like, hey, you know what, big dog? If you could beat me, I'll fucking leave. I'll leave this business, because then that means that I could never be champ if I can't beat you. That would be awesome.
But then he wouldn't want to. But then Roman Reigns wouldn't want to fight him, because he wouldn't want Ambrose to leave.
We don't know. They could roast something. Oh, man, come on.
Well. There's one question I do want to ask. For that scenario to play out where Ambrose and Reigns have their final match, wouldn't it make more sense for the Shield to lose the match because Ambrose costs them the victory, and then that would lead to?
I mean, you could do that, but it doesn't do anyone any favors. You don't want Rollins to be part of a loss heading into WrestleMania.
That's true.
And you could have it that Ambrose is ready to finish the match, and Roman Reigns tags himself in, spears, gets the win, and Ambrose is kind of like, "What the fuck?" And have it become a jealousy thing where he doesn't go full heel on him, but just kind of like, like, what was up with that? And then just have that little bit of that, Shield friction. I don't know. I feel like they're going to find a way to shoehorn that match in there so that those two guys have something to do at WrestleMania.
And did you notice that they mentioned again on Raw that he's leaving?
Yeah, well,
they mentioned it again. They're like, oh,
mentioned it on TV. They actually.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is why I don't believe it. I can't because they keep bringing it up.
Can we talk about Renee Young saying that he was going to leave for greener pastures, and Corey Graves just being like, "What the hell? This is WWE. What do you mean greener pastures?" You know,
I heard that on commentary for sure.
Yeah, I don't think Vince liked that comment at all.
Maybe she's trying to get fired too. Maybe she's under contract. And he's like, I can't, honey. I can't go with you. Well, get fired. No show. Do something. You know, but then you're burning bridges, you know. But we've seen it done before. We've seen plenty of times where someone leaves for their spouse, male or female. It happens.
Yep. It happened with Cody Rhodes and Brandy.
Yeah, it happened there. It happened
AEW would have to give Renee a blank check, you know, if for that to happen.
I don't know. In my head, what I think is going to happen is, of course, they're going to win this shit. That's why it's a squash. There's no point. It's like you're reuniting them for a reason. All right, let them have their one moment, whatever. But I have a feeling for WrestleMania, it's something they're going to have to do something with them, the storyline wise, and we're going to see Dean go up to Vince or somebody when he's on his way to the match and just hand him a piece of paper to take it. It's like, wait, what's this? That's my contract. And he's going to go in the ring and whoop someone's ass. I think it's going to be something like that, because maybe he's not going to be on the card and they're going to talk some shit, or maybe it's going to be something crazy, you know, or maybe Undertaker is going to come out and talk something and they're like, well, we don't have a match for Undertaker. And then he's going to come out and wants to fight Undertaker. I don't know. I just feel it's going to have something to do with the contract, and we're going to find out that he's staying. It's too crazy. WWE have never announced when a wrestler's leaving and then still have them on the show. They just have your ass sit home. Why do storyline around you? They don't do that. They don't do it because people don't understand. This is different from being fired.
It's the Shield.
This is a Shield. Also, it's a Shield. But you think about it, he's not getting fired. So technically, he gets last day. After that, he could show up on another promotion just like that, because there's no 90-day none of that stuff, because he's not fired. He's just not resigning. Why give him a push like this?
Well, that's a good question.
You know, they can just write his ass off. That's it.
Can you even call it a push? He freaking jobbed to Elias, you know.
Yeah, but he won. But he won. He even in EC3. But then he won again during that in the house show, and he's still relevant in this. Why even have him part of this? They've done this Shield reunion numerous times. It
revolves around Roman Reigns, as it usually does, and Ambrose is a big part of that.
Speaking of that, I love how they tried to drown out the boos because he was in Philly. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, I cheer him for coming back from leukemia, but I don't cheer him because he's not Joe. He's Roman Reigns. I don't like Roman Reigns, a character, so I'm going back to booing. I cheer for Joe. I boo for Roman. And that's what people were doing. They were booing him, and he was like, "What?" And then they were like, "I drowned it out." People cheering.
Well, hold on a second, though. So, are you saying that when he comes out on you know, the entrance, when you hear the music, it should just say Joe on the screen and not Roman Reigns?
Yeah, that's it. If they already went and they just voided that whole thing out, you can't play both sides. You can't. We're not dumb. You just finished. He could have just said, came out and said, "Hey, I got leukemia. We'll be out." No, he said, "I'm not Roman Reigns. I'm Joe, whatever his last name is, and I have leukemia and this and this and that." Okay, that's sad. You know, go get better. He gets better. He comes back. The big dog, Roman Reigns. You're throwing all that shit back at me. I didn't like the big dog, Roman Reigns. No one did. And to say he's back, this is his yard again. We didn't want you in the yard. We sold you off to the neighbor and we sent you to the pound. We did not want you in this damn yard. And that's it. I don't want him back. We don't want him back like
you're gonna get you know, like on the stage when they you know, wrestlers come out, you're gonna get in big letters, "He whipped leukemia's ass." So
he's not the first one. Okay, remember what's his woo Zack Ryder? He beat cancer.
Yeah.
Why isn't he the big dog? Why isn't he the champ? Come on now.
Because the spotlight isn't on him.
It should have been. It should have been.
Well, he'll say, you know, when he won his match at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title, that's that was the only time I heard him mention then the cancer thing after that.
That was for a Snickers commercial. He literally wanted so that they could film a Snickers commercial where he was with Ric Flair and Charlotte, the whole woo thing. That was it. That was the only reason they gave him that.
That's sad.
Which is very sad because he locked up to the next night and hasn't been heard from since. Yeah, no, I like I'm super happy that he's in remission and all that, but I still have that very skeptical eye as far as the Roman Reigns character, and I'm curious to see how the fans, start to respond over time, especially once he starts beating their favorites again.
Well, I think we mentioned this. I mentioned this briefly. We had a side conversation. I'm very curious to see how he is going to be treated after WrestleMania, because they have this whole thing where he came out with the speech on Raw about, congrats, Seth. You're going to whoop Brock's ass at WrestleMania. But after WrestleMania and Seth Rollins is champion, where are you going to put that card? Are you going to move him to SmackDown? Because if he stays on Raw, at some point he has to face Seth.
They're gonna give him what people want. If you're gonna keep him around, you gotta make him a heel. This is the Roman Empire. I want him with a cape. I want him to be a prick. I want all of that. If you're gonna keep him around, I don't want this version that we have again. No.
So you know what? To play that up, what needs to happen? Seth Rollins wins at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns comes out, congratulations, and then spears Seth Rollins, and then that sets up. That should be the heel turn now. Reigns is the heel, and then now he's feuding with Seth. Because again,
do it on Raw.
Or do it on Raw.
They do it on Raw afterwards. You have the Shield together one more time. Ambrose says his goodbye. He leaves, and then you close out the show with Reigns attacking Rollins, and now like the big heel turn that everyone was waiting for. That would be an explosive way to end Raw, but that won't happen. I'm sorry.
Damn, you really see him leaving?
You
really see him leaving?
I see him leaving. I don't see him leaving forever, but he's not going to be there.
See him leaving. You think Vince hasn't learned anything from the whole Bret Hart thing? You think, come on now. Damn, think about it. Like I said, he could just make breaking news the next day that he signed with AEW New Japan or something. If anything, I think this would be it. This is his last match. If he is leaving, this is his last. He's not going to have a WrestleMania moment. He's not going to be at WrestleMania. This is it. You're getting the Shield reunion. You're going to win the match. You're going to pack your bags, kiss your wife, and then you're going to go drive somewhere else.
Well, no, I do think he will have a WrestleMania moment. It'll be at WrestleMania Access where he once again treats a fan poorly when they try to get an autograph, just like Ricky experienced when he would try to get an autograph.
No.
Did he spit at you? Did he spit at you?
No. I'm gonna be fair about that. He seemed like he was not in a great mood at the time. He was still nice enough to sign a couple autographs for me, and my picture came out poorly, and part of that was that the staffs there were rushing us. They're the ones I blame the most in all of this, but. Yeah, I wish it turned out better than it did, but I'm glad that I at least got to see him that one time.
You should tell him you're the reason I bought a TV, because I want to see your matches. You should really sugarcoat it. Like, I never had a TV before. People are like, you need to get a TV. I'm like, for what? And then next somebody showed me on their phone. I'm like, holy crap. I got a TV. I got cable. I bought a t-shirt. I'm a fan for life. To tell him some shit like that. Kiss his ass. They like that.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, Dana.
Dana is not here for any of that.
So Dana, who is your pick? The Shield or
First, really backtrack real quick. I'm going with Adam. Dean is not retiring at all. They're gonna do a whole Dolph Ziggler thing. And they can pretend that he's leaving, and then go up like maybe next week or the week after, maybe with a new music or something, and he'll just whine and complain and be, that new gimmick, him just moping around. It just doesn't make sense. But
this could be the breakaway from the Shield and all of that. And like you said, you come back with a new gimmick, fresh. Because who knows? They could say, yeah, he's done, and maybe they go that route, but we don't see him pop up anywhere.
Right, and here's the thing: you could say he is leaving. He's no longer coming back as Dean Ambrose. He's coming back as someone else.
Yeah, somebody put him under a bath. Lucha.
But in regards to the match, it's disrespectful to have like Roman beat cancer and now you're facing Bobby Lashley. He didn't deserve this.
Oh man, you're right. Bobby doesn't deserve this. It doesn't need to be the lay down or a stepping stone for somebody that nobody wants to see wrestle. I'm glad he survived. I want him to live a long, healthy life, but I don't want to see him on my TV screen.
Oh, whoa, wow.
Jeez.
Now, that's harsh.
That's not harsh. No, it's legit. That's it. I don't want to see him dominate my product. This is what I have to watch. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see him giving everybody a million spears and Superman punches night after night.
So here's the question. Now that the cat is out the bag with Reigns' health issues, do you really think that Vince is still going to now treat this guy as, okay, he has to dominate everybody on the roster?
Absolutely. Now he has more better chance for it to succeed.
Without a doubt.
This is it. This is what he was hoping for. If anything, he's like, oh, I'm glad he won. I'm glad he had cancer and he beat it. This is it. He's a super babyface. He's the man. You know, the big dog beats cancer. This is it. This is what, remember, we all talked about. Everybody said, like, if he beats this and he comes back, he will be, levitating to the ring. Because this is it. He's going to be unstoppable. They can't have him lose because then he would look weak. And they can't say, oh, he's weak because of the cancer. No, he beat it. He's superhuman. He's Roman Reigns.
He beat in 4 months. Remember also that as well. So that's superhuman strength right there.
Yeah, and didn't have to go through chemo. Still has all his hair. I could have swore he was going to lose that hair, but
yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's just a little bit skinnier, but he'll get that back in like 1 week. So yeah, offensive, but obviously the Shield will win, and then Dean Ambrose will throw a temper tantrum, and that'll just be it.
I think this is it. I think at least storyline wise and the whole thing, I think we're not going to see Dean at WrestleMania. There's no need. This is it. This ends for him right now, tomorrow. Whether we find out he signs a new contract, whether he leaves, which I don't think it's going to happen or whatever. And I think something's going to happen at Mania that he's going to want to get involved. He's going to be there, and he's going to hand over a contract just signed just so he could run to the ring to get involved in whatever happens. Maybe one of them starts getting beat down, jumped or something, and people are going to chant or they're going to know he's there. And he's like, and he's like, fine. And he just signs a contract and runs down to the ring to help his boy out.
Now, you know what I would love to see at WrestleMania? I would love to see Seth Rollins win, and then I would love to see Reigns and Ambrose come out, and then they throw Lesnar through in one of those tables. Because, like the vintage thing that they always do, which we'll probably see tomorrow night, because I feel like Brock needs that. He deserves that. So,
triple powerbomb. Yep.
Yes. But we'll see. So
and that was it. That's the main event, right? That's it. I'm telling you, this is it.
Yeah, that's it. So, do you guys have any other thoughts you wanted to share on anything WWE related, or are you good to go?
This pay-per-view shouldn't be happening. That's it.
I agree with that, and I will also say I am disappointed that there is no Intercontinental title match, no United States title match, even though Joe just won the title. So yeah, that's a little ridiculous, but whatever. No one cares about this pay-per-view. You're right. How about you, Adam? Ricky, you had any other thing you wanted to say before we wrap up?
No, not really.
No, man. This is the highlight is just to see what happens with Dean with this. We already know they're going to win this crap. That's it. Nothing special is going to happen at this pay-per-view. We just want to see the end result. Because I'm telling you, I don't see Dean going to WrestleMania unless something happens contract-wise. There's no reason for them to give him a Mania moment when he's having his Shield moment tomorrow.
Yeah. That's well.
Oh no, Roman Reigns is having his Shield moment.
Yeah.
But this is it. So if anything, then this is all for Roman. Is like Roman to make him happy. He's like, all right, fine, we'll put your buddy in this match.
Yeah.
Oh, so here's something to consider when they announced on the site that Ambrose is leaving at the end of his contract. They were very complimentary of him and said that they would hope that they can do business with him again. So it sounds like if this is not a work, which again I'm a little. I'm a skeptic of it, but if this is not a work, he's being a professional about it and coming in and putting people over and everything.
There's plenty of guys that offered to do the same, and they were like, "Nah, sit your ass home."
But they're not as big a draw.
But that's the thing. That's what makes it even worse. He's too big. If he pops up anywhere else, he's going to be headlines on all the wrestling sites. It's going to be it's just too big. He's too big of a star. Remember, their whole thing is they don't want you leaving with the heat that they put on you. So that's why they have them fizzle out.
And that's what they've been doing. He's
on TV.
He's been losing.
Doesn't matter. He's still there. They give him a mic.
He's been losing, and he's going to, like, even if he has a match at Mania, he'll lose that one, and then that's it, But
and he hasn't lost all of them. He's won some of his matches since his announcement.
But again, it's also a thing of like this is not just your typical guy leaving.
Yeah,
he's a pretty but
like
pretty significant guy.
Let's say Roman said the same thing. I'm leaving. You think they would put him in the spotlight? You think they would put him on TV in matches?
I think that if Roman said he was leaving, Vince would lock himself with Roman in a room until a contract was signed. He would not allow him to leave.
And he would also say, hey, you know what, Seth Rollins, you did an excellent job at Royal Rumble, but guess what? You're out the match. Reigns is in the match. Reigns get his title match. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep. So, and then that's it until Mania, people. I think this is what we have.
Yes. So on that note, any final shout-outs that you guys would like to give? How about you go first, Dana?
Shout-outs to everyone who is listening. Thank you very much for listening. So yay.
Yes. And how about you, Adam? Final shout-outs.
Yeah, shout out to all the wrestling fans. Shout out to all of you people. Shout out to Coalition and the Throwdown crew. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the world for putting up with this shit. and still watching it and still making it seem like it matters, but it does matter because it's a story. It's our novella that never ends, and it won't end after we all die. It'll still keep going on. So hopefully it just pans out. I just want a good WrestleMania. That's it. I hope whatever end results from this pay-per-view just leads to a good WrestleMania.
Well, we'll see about that. That is to be determined. Yes. And how about you, Ricky? Any final shout-outs that you want to give?
Yes, absolutely. Shout out to all the listeners, and a special shout out to all my friends, yourself included, Rich, that we're going to WrestleMania. And that's going to be a lot of fun, even if the matches aren't quite, so great. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, I agree, 100%, definitely. And yes, give a shout out to all of you, Ricky, for being on today's show. Give a shout out to Adam and Dana also for asking me about whether or not this show was going to happen. With an overall excellent show. So definitely feel free to let us know who you think is going to win at Fastlane tomorrow night. Enjoy the show, and we will talk to you all next time.
Peace.